Welcome to Jackie Robinson Field in Pasadena, California, as the Arroyo Seco Saints get set to host the Conejo Oaks for the third time this season. In the booth, I'm Jarrett Thompson. With me,
it's Alex Naveca alongside of you. It's a pleasure to be with you, Jarrett.
Yep, first time working together. As this one's about to get started, the Saints looking to change their ways against the Oaks. Have lost to them both times they've played this season, both by a run. And Creighton Hansen will get the start for the Saints and try to change that. As the leadoff man for the Oaks sets in, it's Gregory out in left field. Creighton Hansen has been good so far this season, as his first pitch is taken high for a ball. This will be his fourth game, his second start. His last start, he was perfect through 3 innings against the Riptide before allowing a run in the fourth. He's 1-0, he's got a 2.25 ERA, but he's quickly behind Gregory, 2-0.
First inning's going to be one of those that's going to gauge how well Creighton Hansen's going to deliver. And this is one of those starting pitchers that has been really consistent in pounding the strike zone. So I'm not going to be surprised if he finds one here.
Gregory lays down a bunt. Foul, be 2-1. Zach Gregory playing left field from Arkansas. Arkansas was the #1 ranked team in college baseball before being eliminated by NC State this year.
Hey, how about that? NC State being eliminated because of the whole COVID shenanigans that were going on. That's
I know.
A little disappointing to hear. I think a lot of us were really rooting for NC State and their run, and that was a team that was really underrated. Virginia, one of those non-ranked underrated teams now that's really left there in the College World Series.
Yep, and Vanderbilt getting a free pass, you can say, to the College World Series, and they won game 1. That one's grounded to short. Nice play by Boning. And a strong throw to first is in time for out #1. So great start for Hansen.
It's nice to know that your defense is right behind you, and that's always a good thing about the Arroyo Seco Saints. Not too many errors being committed this year, so he definitely has a reliable defense behind him. It is slightly different tonight. We do have Drew Cowley playing in the middle infield, playing at second, so let's see how that double play duo of Cowley and Boning does today.
Yeah, Jackson Cobb with the night off, or at least not starting. We'll see if he comes in later in the game. Cooper Elliott, the utility man, gets to start at third, pushing Cowley over to second. Here comes TJ Foreman. A slow start for him in league play, as Foreman's hitting 188, 3 hits and 16 at-bats in league play this year. He takes ball 1. He lines that one to short, but right at Boning, and quickly 2 up and 2 down for Hansen.
It's a loud contact there by TJ Foreman, but that's the frustrating part of the game. You make some great contact with the ball, but right when you see it going straight to the glove, you can only hope that maybe turns into a bar of soap and they can't hang on to it, or maybe they bobble it of some sort.
That'll bring up Brendan Bobo. A few new names in the Saints lineup today, as Blake March, the first baseman, gets a day off. McMurray's over at first. Jack Burden also with a day off. And Tanner Lindsay behind the plate. Bo Willis gets the day off. Could be joining us later today. That is 1-1 to Bobo. Pitch. Another off-speed pitch. That one misses. It's 2-1. Creighton Hansen from Wichita State University. From Irving, Texas. A few Wichita State players coming to play for the Saints this summer. That one's popped up, and it's going to be out of play. And the count's even at 2 apiece.
Got quite a few Wichita State guys. We've got a couple of guys from Texas as well, so a lot of talent out here in Texas, being here in SoCal, and really has been helping out the Arroyo Seco team throughout this year.
The 2-2 pitch is grounded foul. Yeah, I like to say two of the best pitchers for the Saints so far have both been from the University of Texas San Antonio, and Kyle Sonduk and John Chomko. So like you said, and there's a lot of pairs that came. We have 2 from Cal State LA, 2 from Texas San Antonio, a couple from Pepperdine. So a lot of teammates coming together to come play for the Saints this summer. As the 2-2 for Hansen again is another off speed. It's taken inside, it's full count. Bobo in league play hitting 263. He's got 1 home run and 6 RBIs. And he got under that one. Elliott running over to the Saints dugout, but it looks like he will not be able to make a play. Good at bat here for Bobo.
Was able to put Gregory and Foreman away rather quick early on in the count, but the 3 spots, Brendan Bobo really making Hanson work for this final out of the inning, and it looked like a very quick inning, but now Bobo really adding up to the pitch count.
Full count pitch, and fouls that one off as well.
I like that off-speed pitch that Hanson delivered right there to Bobo. Bobo was fully committed to protecting the plate, but that's a pitch that was breaking when it was crossing the plate and really trying to get Bobo to chase. So that really gives you a good idea of what to throw next.
Yep, and there's the fastball. It's driven out towards left. Cowden, a few steps to his right, is under it and will make the catch. So 1-2-3 first inning for Creighton Hanson, as the Saints bats will get to work trying to strike first in this game. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Bottom of the first inning, as Creighton Hanson at a 1-2-3 top half. The Saints lineup will get to work against right-hander Joseph Wiersma from Ventura College, sophomore. This will be his 3rd game of the season. He's gone 5 innings, has allowed 8 runs, only 5 of them earned, and his ERA currently sits at 9 so far in this league play. As the Saints look to get their bats going. Saints won 2 days ago. They had a day off yesterday at home against the Riptide, ending their 4-game losing skid. And as they come in with a 6-6 overall record.
Really did have a good day on Sunday. It was just one of those back and forth affairs between the Riptide. It was, like I said, back and forth between the two, but going down late innings, it was Bo Willis who ended up going in with the go-ahead RBI double. Tried to stretch it out to a triple, but ended up getting hosed down at third very easily, but the damage was already done, able to give them the 4-3 win, and just it's nice to turn the page, and you got a brand new week of action, but you've got a tough one here with the Conejo Oaks, who you're looking for your first win against. Right now, the Saints are 0-2 against the Oaks.
Yeah, they won their first league game against the Riptide, then lost 4 straight, including 2 to the Oaks, as Connor Bradshaw leads things off and lines a ground ball hard foul down the left field line. They lost their next 4, including 2 to the Oaks, but then beat the Riptide, so they're 2-4 in league play, 2.5 games behind the San Luis Obispo Blues in the South Division in the CCL. The Oaks come in with an overall record of 6-2, 3-1 in league play. The 0-1 to Bradshaw is taken for a ball, 1-1. The Oaks currently on a 3-game winning streak. Scratch that. 3-game winning streak in league play. On Sunday, they lost 10-8 to the SoCal Grizzlies. Bradshaw lanes that one to center. It's going back, it's going back, it's gone! Connor Bradshaw, a leadoff home run for the Saints.
Connor Bradshaw getting all of that one. That looked like a ball that was going to end up at least at the wall, but getting some favors here at Jackie Robinson Field. That ball just continued to carry. It got some good lumber on that one, able to drive it to dead center field, but oddly enough, that is not the deepest part of the ballpark. 364 dead center, but you knew that one was not going to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I was confused that the center fielder Sandoval in center kind of didn't move at first, so I thought it was kind of going right towards him. Then all of a sudden he turned around and that ball went into the netting out in dead center. That's Bradshaw's second home run of the year. Both at home, both against the Oaks, both to dead center. And the Saints have an early 1-0 lead as that'll bring up Elliott, the third baseman.
This is exactly how the ball game started against the Orange County Riptide. It was Cowley who ended up coming in, leading off the bottom of the first inning and drove one right over the right center field wall. It's like Yogi Berra once said it, it's deja vu all over again. So it's really looking like Sunday's ball game all over again.
Pitch, Elliott hits him. So Elliott will take first. So a solo home run and then a hit by pitch for the Saints against Wiesmer. And they're in business here in the first. Drew Cowley, their leading hitter, hitting .344 this year.
Got to take advantage of it here. You have to attack Wiesma here, and you have to jump to as big of a lead as possible. That has been the issue with the Saints against the Conejo Oaks. All of these ball games have been within one run. This is your opportunity to be here at home and try to reverse the score against the Conejo Oaks, and this is where you need to attack the starting pitcher. Make that first inning a bad inning for that pitcher and make it that we won the first inning.
Yeah, get his pitch count up. Making a lot of work. Elliott takes off. He trips, and he stays back. Looked like Elliott tripped a little bit as he's going to try to steal second. The starting catcher, Arrows for the Oaks, not in the lineup today. The leading hitter in league play for the Oaks. Instead, it's Sharp behind the plate. As it's 1-1 now to Cali. And that hits Cali. And back-to-back hit by pitches. And a rough start here for Wiersma.
Wiersma really struggling to find the zone here in this ball game, and as I mentioned before, the first inning is always an inning that the starters will use to try to find their control, the grip of their fastball, the grip of the curveball, and really try to find their comfort, try to find their groove into the ball game. But you can really tell that Wiersma is struggling, and Andrew Sharp has to go talk to his pitcher, get him back into control, and try to get him locked into this game. He is struggling to find the strike zone here, and already a run scored, back-to-back hit by pitches, and if you're the Saints, this is a recipe for success already.
Yeah, and the Saints have been a good team this year that to capitalize on the other team's miscues. Scored a lot of runs via errors, walks, and hit by pitches. The Saints usually cash them in. Let's see if Cowden can do that here in the first. Still nobody out. He's first pitch swinging, but comes up empty. It's 0-1.
I love the 1-2 punch of Cowley and Cowden. These are the two deadliest bats in the lineup. I mean, excluding Jack Burden, that is another hot piece of stick that the Saints do have in their order. But, hey, if you have both, you have all three, actually, Elliott, Cowley, and Cowden, that's dangerous already alone.
Yeah, Burden got the night off. Check swing from Cowden. He went, and it's 0-2 now. But the Saints, all three of those guys you mentioned too, are all lefties. They're a very lefty-heavy lineup. And a ballpark that favors lefty, 345 in dead right, as you mentioned earlier, 374 in left field. A very odd ballpark, left field being the deepest part. So a park that favors lefties if they can pull it. Although Bradshaw went dead center. Long pause from Wiersman. As it's 0-2 to Cowden. First and second. 1-0 Saints lead here in the bottom half of the first. Connor Bradshaw leadoff home run. And then two hit by pitches have Cowden set up. But he's behind the count 0-2. Pickoff attempt to second. Ball gets into the dirt. It's going to go to center. Elliott's going to take third. Throw's going to go to second, but not going to be in time. So does Cali advance, and the Saints continue to capitalize on Wiersma's mistakes.
These are all mental mistakes right about now. Wiersma is not locked into this ball game. He's not locked into the strike zone. This is a guy that really is lost in this ball game. He has to find a way to get mentally locked in, get on the same page with his defense now, and be on the same page with his catcher. And this is something that he's struggling with already with 2 runners in scoring position early on in the ball game.
Yep, the 0-2 to Cowden is outside, 1-2. Peyton Lewis on deck. Cowden can just get a ball deep enough in the outfield. Saints could add their second run of the game. The Saints lost to the Oaks last Thursday 5-4. As their comeback in the 9th inning came up short. That one's outside, 2-2. As Cali doubled down the line, the tying run in Marsh was rounding third, going to score, and he tripped and fell. Had to go back to third, and the Oaks ended up getting out of it.
Maybe not the way you want to finish up a ball game.
No,
right? But I know you think about it now, and you do get your little giggles. You're laughing at it because it is something funny, a part of the game. You know, sometimes you have someone rounding third hard, and they end up losing their grip from their cleats, and they end up sliding or even tripping. And at the moment, it's not funny, but after you think about it, it is something that you could laugh off.
Saints also lost 4-3 this last Saturday as that fastball misses. And from 0-2 to 3-2 now with Cowden.
That's a great spot for Wiersma there. Did not miss by a whole bunch. Thought that was a strike 3 call. A huge sigh of relief for Josh Cowden. He was thinking he was going to be rung up on strikes, but he's catching a break here.
The Saints do get their fair share of walks. Will make pitchers work. So here's a full count, and there is the first walk of the game. And now the bases are loaded with still nobody out. As Cowden works an 0-2 count to a walk. And now Lewis is here. Can really do some serious damage. He already has 1 grand slam this season. Looking for a second here in the first.
That was in the second ball game of the season. It was against the Ventura County Pirates. He cleared up the bases with 1 swing of the bats. But that really is the best production that the Saints have had with the bases juiced. They haven't had very many opportunities, and they haven't had very much production with the bases loaded. So they have not been swinging the bats very well with every base occupied. So with a guy like Peyton Lewis as the designated hitter, I think this may be looking promising for the Saints.
Peyton Lewis, like you said, has home run power. Could clear the fence. A deep fly ball would get 1 run in. As he popped under that, it's going to be shallow left. Coming in is Gregory. Will make the catch. Elliott's going to tag. The throw to the plate looks like a good one, but Elliott too fast will beat it. And both runners will advance as now they got Cowden in a run down to the throw into second. Cowden going back to first. He's in the rundown. Now Cali's going to take off for home. He will score. Cowden gets tagged out, but the Saints get 2 runs on the play. Great base running by Cowden and Cali.
That is heads-up base running 101. That is a great veteran base running there by the Arroyo Seco Saints. First of all, starting off with Cooper Elliott tagging on a shallow fly ball there and being able to score there. And the aggressive base running by Josh Cowden, tagging from first and trying to go to second. The throw does go to second. He gets in a rundown while Drew Cowley is trying to come in to score as well. He does his job reading it as the defense for the Oaks are completely, they have all the attention of Josh Cowden, and he's able to score in 2 runs just like that.
First pitch to McMurray's a chopper to second. Plays to be fitted by Burford. Strong throw to first. It's in time for out number 3, but the Saints strike first early in this one with 3 runs, led off by a solo shot from Connor Bradshaw. We head to the 2nd inning. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Creighton Hansen back out there for his second inning of work, holding a 3-0 lead as the Saints strike for 3 runs on 1 hit in the bottom of the first, cashing in on 2 hit-by pitches. And Creighton Hansen now with a comfortable 3-0 lead, as he did his last start against the Riptide, as his team has given him some good cushions early on. First pitch, Grant Smith's fouling that one off 0-1.
We talked about trying to create that early lead for Creighton Hansen, and there we go, just like that, top of the second, 3-run lead. And we talked about it during the break. It was the most unorthodox way to score in 3 runs. No runners left on base, and that's the type of baseball that you want to be playing right about now, leaving no runners on base, trying to capitalize with everybody getting on. And we already showing some great base running here in this ball game.
Yep, and as I said, the Saints, one of the better teams so far this year. Is Smith grounds that one to short, Boning charging on it, fields it, and throw to first. And Hansen retires Smith for the first out of the inning. As the Saints have been one of the best teams so far this year in cashing in those runs. Then they score runs without getting a lot of hits. They don't need to. They get them. There's a lot of timely hitting, and they get them when it matters. And then, as you said, you stressed early on, win the first inning. And they did exactly that, scored 3 runs. And Hansen right now 4 up, 4 down to start his game.
You win the first inning, and then right after that, you have to take it 1 inning at a time. Find ways of how are we going to get to Wiersma every inning and try to wear him out as early as possible and put the Conejo Oaks in an uncomfortable situation and try to start thinking, hey, how do we get the bullpen out in this ball game and try to get the starter out? And that's going to make some problems there in the dugout.
It's 1-1 to the Oaks second baseman, Burford. I like this player a lot. Burford hitting .438. He's got 7 hits and 16 at-bats in league play. He was all over the field as he lines that one over the second baseman's head. That's in the gap. Burford thinking extra bases. It's going to be cut off by Bradshaw. Burford's headed there. Bradshaw's throw to second will not be in time. It's a 1-out double for Burford and the first hit of the game for the Oaks.
I can see why you like him a lot. He is able to find the gaps in the outfield, does just that, and the nicest thing is he knows what day of the week it is. It's Apple Taco Tuesday, able to drive one over to right center field, and looks nice.
Yeah, Burford was running all over the bases, all over the field last Thursday, and he's doing it here as the first hit off Hansen. There's an extra base hit for the Oaks. Sandoval, the center fielder, will try to drive him in as the Oaks try to get back at this early deficit. First pitch from Hansen is taken for a strike. Like I said, there's no better hitting than, for me at least, seeing a hitter go the other way. Talk about Apataco. Going the other way, it's such nice hitting. It's the best. It's really, they keep their hands in, go the other way. It's what you love to see. And Burford showed a perfect example of that. Sandoval pops that one. McMurray looks at it go into the stands, and he's quickly behind 0-2.
Hitting opposite field is not an easy thing. It all starts off with patience there at the plate. You have to just sit and wait until the ball is deep into the plate, and then that's when you have to slap it the other way. Really, it's all about it's almost like you're hitting late, but still in time at the same time to be able to hit it the other way. And it's easy to pull a ball, but trying to hit one the other way, that's difficult.
The 0-2's in the dirt. Lindsey's going to get it, throw down to first in time for out number 2. Meanwhile, the ball getting away allows Burford to take third. But nonetheless, Hansen gets his first strikeout of the night, and there's 2 outs.
Great base running and awareness there for Reagan Burford, able to advance on that strikeout and trying to get some run support here for Wiersma. At least try to cut this deficit to a 2-run ball game, but you're here with 2 gone, and you have the bottom half of the lineup coming up.
It'll be Andrew Sharp, the catcher from Cal State Bakersfield. He takes a fastball high, ball 1. As I said, Sharp in the lineup today. Sharp only 6 at-bats so far in league play. He's got hits in 2 of them. As Anson Arrows, leading the team in hitting, gets the night off. That's fouled back towards us. And the count's even at 1 apiece. Runner on third with 2 outs for the Oaks catcher. Pitch from Hansen. Right there for a strike, 1-2.
Great spot there, trying to test out Andrew Sharp. See, can he really pull the ball? If I give him something in the inner half of the plate and really put him to the test. And so now you have him pinned to the corners. 1-2 strikes. See what kind of pitch Hansen's going to go with. If you ask me, got to go with your breaking ball here. See if he'll chase and go after it.
If the ball's in the dirt, Lindsay's got to do a good job. It is the breaking ball, and Lindsay does do a good job protecting it as Burford with speed on third. Counts now 2 apiece. Now it makes you wonder if that curveball sets up a fastball to try to blow by Sharp.
You threw the breaking ball, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to still test him with the fastball.
2-2, and Sharp sends that to left. That's going to get down, an RBI single for Andrew Sharp. And the Oaks grab one back. It's now a 3-1 game.
Now we're starting to see the Oaks battling back in the ball game. They are not going to give up very easily. This is a team that, hey, a 3-run lead, any run lead, it's never safe against the Oaks. This is an offensive team as well. The Saints, early on in the year, did an excellent job scoring runs and coming up offensively, but they have met their match against the Conejo Oaks. The Oaks is not a team that you could be sleeping on, and this is a team that we will definitely be looking at down the line as a serious contender in the CCL.
Yeah, every year in every league, college, professional, it seems like there's that one team that's just always like a thorn in your side. And so far, it seems to be the Oaks might be the team for the Saints. That's why it's very important for them to go out and get a 3-run lead in the first inning. As now Hansen will try to get out of this with JT Naviak, the shortstop. It's a 1-0 count. Now 2-0 as that fastball misses high. Hansen in college at Wichita, came out of relief a lot. It's his second start with the Saints. That one's in there for a strike, 2-1.
Have to say that he's been doing an excellent job accepting his new assignment, his new role with the Arroyo Seco Saints. Does have a 1-0 record coming into this ball game and has a very selfish ERA of 2.25 going into this ball game. So going to be interesting to see how he's going to get through this one. Had an excellent start against Orange County last week to start up the first full week of action.
Yeah. As it's now 3-1, but I think it's a bigger difference than people think. Starting a game and coming out of a bullpen, the whole preparation's different. That fastball Naviak just gets a piece of. As it's 3-2, I think it's a bigger difference than people think. Your whole preparation, how you prepare for a game, prepare the night before, the morning of, it's a lot different. Like you said, Hansen's handled it well. As it's 3-2, 2 outs. Sharp will be in motion as Hansen looks to get through the second. Pitch, curveball, chopper to third. Elliott has to pick it. Nice pick. And the off-balance throw to first is in time. A great play there by Cooper Elliott. Now the Oaks grab one back. It's a 3-1 game going to the bottom of the second. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. bottom of the order for the Saints as we start the bottom of the second. Tanner Lindsley behind the plate will lead things off against Wiersma. A good first inning for the Saints. Wiersma only allowed 1 hit, but he hit 2 batters and walked 1, allowing 3 runs as he misses the big catcher Lindsley, ball 1. Lindsey from Oral Roberts, one of the bigger guys, and he's quickly ahead 2-0.
He's definitely had a lot of opportunities to swing the bat today, and the catching spot has definitely been very competitive, if you ask me, especially when you have a guy like Bo Willis who has been slugging very nicely and has been making the competition very intense for the Arroyo Seco Saints. So Lindsley, every at-bat's got to be a precious one. Everyone has to be as if it's like a World Series at-bat, trying to earn a spot here with the Saints.
2-1, misses, and it's 3-1. Lindsley, a little bit of a slow start. Only 1 hit in his 16 plate appearances. Pitch, and that will do for the Saints. Another walk, a leadoff walk. And they're putting pressure on Wiersma again here in the second.
Way to get the leadoff batter on here for the Arroyo Seco Saints. And Tanner Lindsley, despite him having his leg injuries before going into this year and such and wearing that brace during practices, he still runs the bases pretty well. When he had that start against the Academy Barons, there were a couple balls. There was one in particular that he had to come in scoring from second and really showed very nice technique.
Jack Grace, little chopper. It's going to be a difficult play for Wiersma. His throw to first gets Grace by a step. So a little chopper for Grace. Does advance Lindsley to second, but that'll be 1 away.
Jack Grace able to get his job done. Consider it like a sack bunt, but this one will count as an at-bat. But as I was talking about with Tanner Lindsley, this is a guy, despite him having his leg injury and with the brace, he still runs the bases very nicely, still has a little bit of speed there, but every game, always keep an eye out on Tanner Lindsley, just making sure that his running is okay.
Yeah, the Saints a good running team, a very aggressive team, not afraid to steal and try to advance on any ball in the dirt. As here's Brandon Boning, the shortstop. First pitch, fastball is high, ball 1. And I think when you're at the bottom of the order and then you get through the second time of the order, when you see the starter and he misses a lot, hit by pitch, you have to take more of a patient approach your second time through. See the ball, like Grace swung at the first pitch there, ended up grounding out. You see Boning take. I wouldn't be surprised some of these guys take until they get a strike, as they see Wiersma's having trouble throwing strikes.
I think that would have been a better approach there for Jack Grace. He was in the dugout, having to take his mental notes from the dugout. If Wiersma was already having delivery issues and already trying to find the zone, then he potentially should have taken some more pitches to make Wiersma work here and try to get the pitch count up and really try to get him a little more tired early on in the ball game.
1-1 now to the Saints shortstop. Boning, pretty much the everyday shortstop for the Saints, as he hits that one towards right pretty high. Foreman running back under it, makes the catch. Lindsey will go back to second. So a fly out from Boning results in out number 2. And here's Connor Bradshaw.
Brandon Boning, he had a pretty good start to the year, but now going within these last couple of games, it looks like he's starting to lose the handle of the bat. Coming into this at-bat is now hitting .218, but that on-base percentage still continues to go up as he continues to find ways to get on base, whether it's getting hit by a pitch or getting walked. But that's the thing, finds ways to get on, score runs, but as far as swinging the bat and getting base hits, it's not working right now for Boning.
No, but the one good thing that Boning is he's not allowing that affect his defensive play. He's been fantastic defensively at short as Bradshaw stands in and takes ball 1. Bradshaw homered to lead off the bottom half of the first and give the Saints an early 1-0 lead.
He hit an absolute bombshell to dead center field. It's still a hard part of the ballpark to hit any bombs out of, but you know what, Connor Bradshaw already, they've been shuffling him around throughout the order, and the Look at that, already making a great impression here in this one slot of the lineup. And I definitely think if he plays really well here in this new spot, I think the Saints may have found their new leadoff hitter.
Yeah, he's been in the leadoff spot a few times this year, and when he's in the lineup, usually in center field, will be the DH occasionally, as he's ahead in the count 2-1. Looking for a 2-out RBI here. Lindsley on second. He led off with a walk. Ground out by Grace and a fly out from Boning. As a runner on second and 2 outs for Bradshaw. Saints lead 3-1 in the bottom of the second. Two one from Wiersma. Is hit out to the left by Bradshaw, pretty deep. Back goes Gregory. Is it going to be overhead? Yes, it is. Goes up to the wall. Lindsley scores. Bradshaw rounding second. He's headed to third. The throw to third is not going to be in time. An RBI 2-out triple for Connor Bradshaw.
Connor Bradshaw went with the pitch that was offered to him, was able to hit one the other way, got one right over the left fielder's head. Gregory did everything he could, tried to elevate on it, get some leather on it, couldn't do so. But again, we talked about it during the broadcast. It's heads-up base running for the Saints. Connor Bradshaw was watching it all the way, but the most important thing was he also watched his third base coach letting him know, hey, no, you're still coming to third. Go third, go three. And it's a good job for the third base coach.
That ball gets away, and that's going to allow Bradshaw to score. So a wild pitch, and the Saints add their 5th run of the game.
As the base running continues to dominate here for the Arroyo Seco Saints, they do get 2 runs. They allowed one, they double it up by earning 2. So this is exactly the jump that you wanted to get for the Arroyo Seco Saints, trying to take advantage of as many runs as possible and put Wiersma in an uncomfortable situation.
Bradshaw making everything happen today. Hardy has the 2 hardest parts of a cycle, a home run and a triple in 2 innings. As Cooper Elliott with 2 outs and nobody on now. And getting a triple on a ball hit to left field is not something easy to do. You don't see it often. And that ball went over Gregory's glove as Elliott takes another pitch inside.
And that's just familiarity of your ballpark. Connor Bradshaw fully aware of how deep left field is. That is the deepest part of the ballpark, which it is much easier to hit a triple when you hit it to the deepest part of the park. And Connor Bradshaw already very comfortable with his new home.
That pitch fired in there for a strike, 2-1 to Elliott. Yeah, we're in that point of the season now where the players should be getting used to their home ballpark, used to their teammates and how they play. So that one's high and upside, 3-1. As we're right in the thick of things now in the season. Saints will be back home the next few days. And that one misses, and Elliott walks. So Elliott, 2 at-bats, a hit by pitch and a walk. And see if the Saints can continue this 2-out rally.
Joseph Wiersma committing the cardinal sin in baseball. Never want to walk the leadoff batter or a batter with 2 outs, as lately the Saints have been hitting really well with 2 outs and making rallies happen in the ball game. And this was the wrong guy to walk, because now you have to go through Drew Cowley and possibly Josh Cowden.
As Cowley, who got hit in his first at-bat, nearly takes one. As that misses inside, another ball. And like you said, the 3-4, the 2 dangerous hitters right now for the Saints coming up. As Wiersma, we wonder how long his leash is.
It's definitely shortening. It's already 3 base on balls given up here in this ball game, and you can really see Andrew Sharp is trying to talk him through this ball game. This is already meeting number 2 of the ball game. We usually don't even see 2 meetings from the pitcher to catcher in the ball game very often. This is a rarity in the game of baseball. The catcher shouldn't really have to talk to his pitcher all that much,
especially when your starting pitcher's only allowed 2 hits. But 5 runs have come around to score thanks to the 2 hits, both hits coming from Connor Bradshaw.
And it's a lack of execution from the defense as well. We're not going to put it all on Wiersma. It's the defense as well, falling asleep and really making these miscues and such. If you go back to that triple that Connor Bradshaw hit, the rally from Gregory to Naviak, Naviak mishandled the ball. They potentially could have had a play at third.
Elliott takes off for second. The throw down from Sharp, not going to be in time, and Elliott with a stolen bag.
Got the best jump that you could get out there. He was already jumping before Wiersma even delivered the pitch. That's just amazing base running. That's 101 stealing bags from Cooper Elliott. Maybe you guys need to attend his class, Stealing Bases 101 with the Arroyo Seco Saints. If it hasn't happened already, I think they need to make a class of some sort.
Yeah, we've said you've been stressing the base running. The key is Cali hard shot to third. It's going to be plays going to be made by Smith. Throws high. And he still gets the tag down on Cali. But the Saints add two more. Connor Bradshaw has been the guy so far. The Saints lead 5-1 as we head to the third inning. You're listening to Saints Baseball on Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Five-1 Saints lead as we go to the top of the third inning. And Creighton Hansen, as he'll get the 9-1 and 2 hitters from the Oaks. Led off by Austin Carrillo, DHing today. He played in center field, mainly the center fielder, but Sandoval's out there today. And Carrillo will just get the hitting duties. He'll try to lead things off here in the third as they trail early, 5-1. Only 2 hits for the Saints, but walks and some hits batsmen's has contributed to some runs as Hansen fires in a strike there, 0-1.
We've already seen a 3-1 cushion lead here for Creighton Hansen. Now working with a 4-run lead now. See if he can maintain this lead.
Beautiful off-speed pitch there, and it's quickly 0-2 on Carrillo. Since league play started, Carrillo's got 4 hits in his 10 at-bats. So good depth for the Oaks at the bottom of the order. The 0-2. He gets a piece of it just to stay alive. Carrillo from Cal Lutheran.
Having the luxury to stay there at home, being a play for Cal Lutheran, then playing for the Conejo Oaks, and you get to stay there in Cal Lutheran.
That's a grounder to short. Boning, routine bat hop, but he makes a nice adjustment and a strong throw for out number 1.
Very spooky hop there going to Brandon Boning. That's a play that doesn't happen all that much. That was a ball that had a slight chop. Then in the final moments, just bounced up in the final moments. But consider that a gift. Boning, that's a candy hop in his arsenal. Very easy to glove, and it's going to be very easy to deliver when you get a nice hop like that.
Yep, and we've talked about Boning's defensive skill earlier. It's been fantastic at short. As now the top of the order for the Oaks, it's Gregory. He grounded out to Boning to lead off the game. He takes ball 1.
Evaluating this first time through the order, Creighton Hansen has induced a lot of ground balls here in this, and we've only seen 2 balls that were hit either in a line or got under it.
That one's popped up. Boning going up to center. Bradshaw coming in. It's gonna be dropped. The ball drops right in between Boning and Bradshaw, and it's a bloop hit for Gregory.
Those are always tough to play on. It's all about location, 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 where you bloop those singles there. Good effort by both of them as Connor Bradshaw was playing rather deep over in center, and Boning was trying to get on his horse to make an overhead grab as, hey, he's already been on it.
Yeah.
He's been on the money defensively. He came pretty close to that one, but when you have two players coming out like that, nobody really called for it either. Nobody
No, I
said
didn't
mine,
hear
mine,
much.
mine, or ball, ball, ball.
No, communication is the biggest key on those types of plays as Foreman fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. But Gregory, does not matter how he gets his hit, he'll take the bloop single. As the Oaks now 1 out, runner on first with their 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. Hansen looking for a double play ball. Pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. It's quickly 0-2.
You're talking about looking for the ground ball here. I'm not going to be surprised if he gets it here. Hansen has been doing an excellent job, as I was mentioning before, in inducing the ground balls. He induced 4 in total to Gregory, Smith, Naviak, and Carrillo.
Looking for another here, the 0-2. It's a fastball blown by Foreman for a strikeout. Hansen will take that as well, as now there's 2 gone.
Nice of Hansen to show off the velocity on the fastball, trying to challenge TJ Foreman. Foreman could not catch up with the fastball, was definitely accustomed to the velocity of the breaking pitches, but when the fastball came at him, by the time he started his swing, that ball was already in the catcher's mitt of Lindsley.
Second strikeout of the night for Hansen, both swinging. Here's Bobo, he flew out to the left. Runner goes as Bobo gets a foul piece right back towards us. 0-1. Now we're in this part of the season. We saw at the beginning games there in Milan interchanging a lot of his pitchers early. They didn't let his pitchers go many innings. However, now lately, as the season started going and season league play started, you'll see some of these starters go 4 or 5 innings. Hansen can get out of this here. Pretty sure we'll see him back in the 4th. That one just missed low. It's 1-1.
Looks like Coach Milam has found his starting rotation more or less on who he really has a lot of confidence in to be able to go at least 4, 5, maybe even sometimes 6 innings, depending on where your pitch count is and where you're at as far as, hey, can you still deliver another inning of work? But he's really having a lot of confidence, and we've seen Steyer, we've seen Hansen dominate. Tristan Garnett.
I was about to say Tristan Garnett,
Garnett,
big lefty.
6'5".
He's a big boy.
Really
He's a
big.
monster, and he's been good. He's been fantastic. That one's Bobo fouls off his own knee, it looks like. Count will be at 2 apiece. Hansen looking for the strikeout to end the inning. Here in the top of the 3rd with a 5-1 lead.
We were talking about Tristan Garnett before this pitch. A very nice guy to talk with as well. Every time I run into him, we just seem to have a lot of discussions about Cal State Dominguez Hills and as far as his life, as far as his commutes, being around Carson and living in Long Beach and such. And Tristan Garnett, I really believe he's going to be making a name for himself here with the Arroyo Seco Saints. Good numbers.
Definitely. He's definitely earned himself. That one's a grounder to second. Callie should make the play to get out of the 3rd, and he does. The Saints will go to the bottom of the 3rd with a 5-1 lead, looking to extend that lead. We'll see if pitcher Joseph Wiersma goes back out there. Saints lead 5-1. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Bottom of the third, and Joseph Wiersma is back out there for the Oaks. As the Saints will look to add to their 5-1 lead. Josh Cowden, Peyton Lewis, and McMurray will be the 3 hitters for the Saints in the bottom of the third. Cowden walked. First pitch to him is hit towards shallow left. Gregory running after. I don't know if he's going to get there. He will not. It's going to be a bloop base hit for Cowden, and the leadoff man is on for the Saints.
Definitely a tough play to make there for Zach Gregory. That's one of those balls that you're either, it's a do or die, really. You got to be 100% committed to it, or you just let it drop just like he did right then and there. You do not want to allow any more balls to get past you and allow additional real estate there for the Saints, as they have been doing so this ball game. They are taking advantage of mistakes that the defense has been making, and they definitely have been playing some smart heads-up baseball.
And I'll bring up Peyton Lewis. He takes a fastball inside for a ball. Lewis had the sac fly back in inning number 1, which resulted in 2 runs. Thanks to the pickle that Cowden got in between first and second, and some great base running from Callie. Tarzanez. It really looks like Sharp and Wiersma aren't on the same page. As you said, this is the 3rd meeting now that they've had to go talk, and we're only in inning number 3. So it's 1-0 to Lewis. Runner on first, nobody out. Wiersma could really use a double play ball. Throw over to first. Cowden. Caught jumping a little bit, but gets back in time. Let's see if Cowden decides to run. Like you said, Saints very aggressive, have been aggressive in this game. 2-1. He does not on this pitch. Excuse me, the count's 1-1. Jake McMurray on deck. Again, the Saints only have 2 hits in this game, both from Connor Bradshaw, a home run and a triple. Here's the 1-1. There goes Cowden. And Lewis fouls it off. It's now 1-2.
Really trying to go for that hit and run there, trying to get Cowden to move into scoring position without getting into a double play here in this one. Josh Cowden does not have any stolen bags this year, so really trying to go with some execution.
So he takes off again here at a 1-2 count. Throw over. He gets back in time. Do you think that affects a pitcher when you see early on teams are stealing on you a lot and they're catching onto your jump? Do you think that affects how your emotion or how you pitch through the rest of the game?
Absolutely. Mentally, it's really going to get to you. You're going to be thinking about the batter. You're going to be thinking about the runner. It's a lot of things that come to your mind, and when you do have such a mental buildup like that.
Lewis pops that one up. That's, again, shallow left. Gregory running over. Will catch this one for out number 1.
It ultimately just comes down to mental. You got to be mentally strong in games like this, because when you're not mentally strong, and as you were mentioning, does it mess with your game? It absolutely messes with your game. You're thinking about the runner, the batter. When you have a lot of things bunched up, bursting in your mind, that's when you have mental errors like box happen. That doesn't happen accidentally. Those are mental errors because the other team is getting to your pitcher. That's why it happens. This is why this is a game of having a strong mentality. 90% mental, 10% physical.
Throw over again, and Cowden gets back as here's Jake McMurray, grounded out. Wiersma will be looking for another ground out, as that could result in an inning-ending double play. Another throw over, Cowden gets back. See, that's like you said, now he's obviously really focused on the runner, which he should be, because Cowden already tried taking off last at bat. But it obviously puts you in the danger of, one, not being able to throw strikes to the hitter when you're not focusing on him, or leaving one right over the plate where McMurray, in this case, can do damage. Cowden does take off. McMurray fouls that one off, and Cowden will have to go back again.
Cowden able to get a great jump over to second that time, but you're really seeing these hitters trying to get the hit and run. It's not a straight steal. They're really trying to get a great jump and try to get a runner into scoring position without grounding it to a double play. And ideally, when it comes to these hit and runs, you want to avoid going up the middle. It's better to hit a ball to the corner infielders as opposed to your middle.
And also with one of the middle infielders taking second, it opens up a hole. As that curveball look hanging, McMurray fouls it off. He's behind the count 0-2. As in this case, McMurray has a big hole in between first and second with the second baseman cheated over towards the bag and the first baseman holding on to the bag.
And also, it looks like he is playing a bit of a shift as JT Naviak playing closer to third than he is at second. So they're definitely playing in pull.
And that one's ripped to third. That's over his head for a base hit. Count in on his way to third. Gregory bobbles it in left. McMurray to second, and it's going to be a hit for McMurray, and the Saints have second and third with one away.
So that's going to be a long single for Jake McMurray. He does advance over to second on the bobble by Zach Gregory, but regardless, a hit's a hit. Jake McMurray able to get an additional bag out of the ball mishandled by Zach Gregory, and it's runners at second and third. Can't complain.
Yep. Score that a single for McMurray and then an error on Gregory, allowing the Saints to go second to third. A breaking ball that was hanging for McMurray on an 0-2 pitch. And he roped that into left. And now to bring up Lindsley with one out, second and third. A fly ball could get a run in.
Perfect situation for Tanner Lindsley. This is a guy that doesn't have any RBI. He only has one base hit on the year, and here's an opportunity for him to drive some runs.
And he does just that with a base hit to right. Cowden scores. McMurray rounding third. The throw to the plate is not going to be in time as it's cut off. And there it is, the second hit of the season for Lindsley. It's a two-run single, and the Saints add to their lead. It's now 7-1.
I like what Lindsley did that time. Didn't try to do a whole lot with that pitch. All he did was just turned on it, hands follow, and just was able to go directional hitting. There was a slight shift played by Burford at second, was playing closer to the bag when the infield was playing in. And I'll tell you what, Lindsley definitely got some great lumber on it, as you guys could hear it through as well. Great contact by Lindsley.
I love being aggressive in that situation as well. Knowing, obviously, he wants to drive those runs in, swings the first pitch and sends it into right. And that brings up Jack Grace. Grace, someone who could be looking to do the same thing. A slow start for him, only 2 hits on the year. He fouls that one off.
First set of RBIs as well for Tanner Lindsley. And the first ones, they feel so good. You can just have that sigh of relief. Finally, I'm on the board.
Yeah, sometimes it takes those first ones to get them all coming. So maybe this Lindsley is something that now, you know, his next 8 at-bats, he has RBIs. The next time we check, as Grace goes down swinging. That's strike number 2.
This could definitely be a huge confidence booster for Tanner Lindsley. You get RBIs, you get some base hits as well. That's all it takes. It's all about having a lot of confidence, and as we talked about it, it's a mental game in the box. You have to know, hey, I'm coming after this guy. I'm coming after the guy on the mound, and I know I can hit his stuff.
Yep, and I think that's exactly what Lindsley did. Going out there against a pitcher like Wiersma, who's struggling so far this year. Lindsley going up second, third, one. This was the plate appearance he could have done damage. A guy that's struggling out there throwing strikes and has been hit, and Lindsley does just that. And now let's see if Grace can do it. It's a 2-2 count to him. Grace also has 10 strikeouts in his 16 plate appearances. And he lines that one to right. That's a base hit for Grace going the other way. Lindsley's going to stop at second, and great piece of hitting there for Jack Grace. And the Saints continue to do damage here. Now it's first and second for Boning.
Bottom of the third inning is almost looking like the bottom of the first. Once again, looking for another 3 spot. They do have Lindsley into scoring position, and it is Brandon Boning. And here's a guy that you would really like to see going here. This guy, as we mentioned, he is hitting .218 coming into this ball game, and this is a guy that needs to have some more confidence there at the plate. And as we talked about it, he has the confidence there with the glove. All he needs is to see more results at the plate.
Yep, he's got the strikeout bug a little bit as of late, too. And again, we said the bottom 3, the guys, Lindsley, Grace, Boning, not men who've gotten off to the fastest starts, but this is, like you said, this is a game where it can change things. And we saw Lindsley and Grace both with Excellent singles. Great piece of hitting. And let's see if Boning can follow. Still only one out.
Jack Grace getting his third base hit of the year. This is another guy that they would very much like to see going, hitting below the Mendoza line at the moment, 142 going into this ball game as well. Hasn't gotten a whole lot of production, but you're really starting to see some secondary guys getting an opportunity to play today, getting some at-bats, and we're seeing them swing the bat here in this ball game and looking very alive in the box.
First and second, one out. Saints already drove in 2 runs here in the third. They had 3 in the first, 2 in the second. First pitch in the dirt. It skips a few feet before home plate. And 1-0 to Boning. Boning flew out to right in the second inning. As it's 1-0. Wind up and the pitch. And it's quickly 2-0. Connor Bradshaw on deck. He's homered and tripled early on in this game. Solo home run really setting the tone for the Saints. As the rest of the lineup has definitely followed. 7 runs. Not even through 3 innings. And that one misses as well. It's 3-0 to Boning.
Ever since the meeting on the mound, we've been seeing a different Joseph Wiersma. We're starting to see him losing his command now and losing the strike zone here in this one. It's usually the opposite. We see the pitching coach come out on the mound, have a word with his pitcher, and that's when they start to find the command, but it's not working.
And that one's not even close on 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk for Boning loads the bases for Bradshaw.
Another good situation. This is the first time that the Saints get a pair of bases loaded in the same ball game. But now, can they produce here with the bases loaded? They have a 6-run lead already going into this at-bats. If you ask me, you can't keep your foot off of the gas pedal. You have to keep it on there, playing 6th gear, and don't slow down and allow the Conejo Oaks to even have an opportunity to come back into the game.
Could you start a better game than with a solo home run in the first, an RBI triple in the second, and then a grand slam in the third?
Oh, wow. That would be an amazing way to start up a ball game, and probably the most offensive start that we have seen the Saints do this year. And I definitely think that would be the start to something very nice for the Saints.
Yeah, and Bradshaw be looking to do that as he took a strike and now.
Looks like it's the umpire.
Yeah, it looks like something's in the eye of the umpire.
Or maybe it looks like he's hoping that everything's okay with the blue.
Looked like he was grabbing his eyes. His nose. Does he have a bloody nose?
I believe he does have a bloody nose. I saw something dripping out of his nose from our angle.
Trainers and coaches going to check on him. See, it might be the eyes, though. It counts 0-1 to Bradshaw. Saints up 7-1 in the bottom of the third. Great start. For them. Maybe this gives Wiersma some time to take a deep breath, settle down. Also allows for the Oaks, whoever's warming up the bullpen, to get ready faster, as Wiersma's night seems to not last much longer. He can't get out of this. As the Oaks will take advantage of that time with a free walk out to the mound for Sharp. As the umpire looks okay as we're back in there. Bases loaded, still only 1 out. Fly ball could result in a sac fly for Bradshaw. Solo home run to center and a RBI triple to left. The 0-1. That looked outside, but the umpire is going to give him the benefit of the doubt on the corner, and it's 0-2 to Bradshaw.
And that pause can either go two ways. It's gonna help Wiersma to help him sit back, help him collect himself a little more, or it's gonna not help him and make him lose his control even more.
0-2 soft speed pitch that just misses, and it's 1-2. Connor Bradshaw from New York goes to Pepperdine University. One of a few that goes to Pepperdine. The 1-2. Swung on and miss. Fastball from Wiersma blown right behind Bradshaw for out number 2.
Wiersma having a lot of confidence in the fastball that time to put Bradshaw away, and it looked like that pause while they're evaluating the blue behind home plate. It's proven that it's helping him out more than it's going against him. So maybe he potentially just needed to step away from the mound for a quick second and be able to collect himself to be able to get back into the rhythm here. So able to get a huge strikeout with the bases loaded.
And it'll be no easy task following Bradshaw. Here's Cooper Elliott. First pitch of ball. So what Elliott's seen a lot of today. A hit by pitch in the first inning, and he walked in the second inning. Also stole a bag.
Has now recorded an official at bat, technically.
Yep.
2 plate appearances. He's 0 for 0.
Has not been seen many strikes. Wiersma trying to get out of this inning. He's allowed 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and 2 so far here in the third with the bases still loaded. Some long innings for the defenders out there for the Oaks. Elliott grounder to second. Play should be made by Burford. And it is. So good job by Wiersma to get out of the bases loaded jam. But the Saints do strike for 2 more. They carry a 7-1 lead as we go to the 4th. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Top of the 4th inning, Saints lead 7-1 over the Oaks. As the Oaks will send the 4, 5, and 6 batters to the plate against Creighton Hansen. It'll be Grant Smith to lead things off. He's 0 for 1. And ground out to short back in the 2nd inning. And if you're the Oaks, this is where something, Alex, you just have to slowly try to get back in this game. You don't have to score all 6 runs here and tie the game up in the 4th inning. Still got plenty of time left. Just got to slowly get back in this game.
It's exactly how they got their first run of the ball game. It was Burford who got the 1-out double, and really you just have to have good at-bats and just really make Creighton Hansen work. And ultimately, in short, just get base runners on.
Smith up 2-0 in the count against Hansen. Toby swinging. He popped it up super high. Callie backing up just on the outfield grass. And we'll make the catch against the Sun. And there's one up, one down for Hansen here in the fourth.
Not an easy play there for Callie. You're backpedaling, as you mentioned. As an outfielder, you're taught better to run back, take first step back, as opposed to backpedaling, because when you do backpedal like that, the ball does move up and down when it is up in the air, and it makes it harder to be able to trap in the glove. But also, you have the sun to deal with as well, and you have your right fielder coming in for it and such, so that's where communication has to be key.
And if the umpire wasn't feeling it already, just took a ball to an area no one wants to take a ball to.
Home plate umpire having a tough
he's taking
day.
a beating today.
Taking one off of off of his shoulder, the shoulder guards. Fortunately, the home plate umpire is wearing the protection.
Pinch hitting, number 36, Robert Capozzi.
As Robert Capozzi's pinch hitting for Burford here in the fourth inning. Not sure if it's injury related or what, but Capozzi was getting his first at bat tonight.
We'll see if he takes over for Burford. That would be an unfortunate loss for the Oaks.
Absolutely.
If they don't have Burford. They're really slugging out that double his first time up and got the Oaks on the board the first time up.
Absolutely. I mentioned before, he's ones that he can start rallies for the Oaks. He did that in the second inning. But Capozzi up 3-0 in the count now. Trying to get a base runner here for the Oaks. Hansen in his fourth inning. It's been sharp. Here's the 3-0. And that one misses. The umpire takes that one to the chest. And a 4-pitch walk for the pinch hitter Capozzi. And no easier at bat coming into the game than that. And one out runner on first now for Sandoval.
And we talked about it in this inning. It's just about getting base runners on, finding the Achilles heel of Creighton Hansen. And quite frankly, he has been having an Achilles heel, and that's exactly where the Conejo Oaks have been attacking him here in this start of the ball game. This is only his first walk in just 2 1/3 innings of work. Or excuse me, 3 1/3 innings of work.
And that first pitch is a ball. And Lindsley, a good time, will want to go talk to Hansen, who's missed with 5 straight. Yeah, the Saints not a pitching staff that walks a lot of people. They get a lot of strikeouts. They don't walk a lot, so it's uncharacteristic for Hansen. That's why he only has the 1.
Going in this year with 30 walks only, giving up 108 Ks.
And he misses there. 6 straight balls from Hansen. It's 2-0 to the center fielder, Raul Sandoval. Sandoval struck out on 3 pitches back in the second inning. You were mentioning the sun earlier about how difficult the play is for Cali. These 6 o'clock game times here at these home games at Jackie Robinson Field, we've seen so many times so far this season, as Hansen misses with another. We've seen so many times, especially the people in center field, as that sun will sit right behind home plate, misplay balls, and balls, easy routine fly balls get dropped for extra base hits because of that sun. It's so difficult, whether you do have shades or you don't. Hansen misses with 8 straight balls, and now with 1 out, there's first and second for the man who drove in the run last time for the Oaks. Catcher Sharp.
Yeah, you were talking about this is sunset time right about now. Stadium lights starting to be in full effect here at Jackie Robinson Field, and the shadow is at least majority in the left side of the infield. The sun is all over the outfield. The only things in shadow is third, the mound, and the batter's box. Short, second, first is in shadow, but the whole entire outfield as well in the sun. And as we talked about it, it's all about using the glove or using your hand to try to shield your eyes to be able to make the grab, and it's not an easy play. Major leaguers, it happens to them all the time where they misplay a fly ball as well, and it looks so routine, but then it's the stadium lights sometimes, or maybe if it's even the sun or the ball blending in with the sky or blending in with the clouds. And there's always something that happens on some of these fly balls with the sunset coming down, or sometimes when it's a gloomy day in a ballpark.
Yep, even at nighttime with the stadium lights you'll see in the big leagues. Say it's unfortunate, but it happens. Hansen, after the pitching coach comes out, fires a strike. It's more like it, and it's 0-1 to Sharp now.
Just needed a quick little tune to be able to get him back into stride, try to get him to fire some strikes, and remind him, hey, have some confidence in your stuff. Remember, you went through these first 3 innings, and you came out with just 1 earned run out of it. Continue on, push forward, put in your good stuff.
Yep, and when you have and there's another one, it's quickly 0-2. And when you have a 6-run lead, that's a great time to do it. Fire those strikes. If you don't want to walk and get those runners, if they hit you, you leave a pitch, and they get a extra base hit or get some hits off you, okay, so be it. You have a 6-run lead. You don't have to be perfect. So this is a time for him to be confident and definitely throw strikes. And he's done that since the pitching coach came out. As it's now 0-2. Looking for the strikeout. Ball in the dirt. Good block by Lindsley. We'll keep the runners there. And it's now 1-2.
That's what it's all about. Got to be consistently good in attacking the strike zone, getting these hitters off balance. That's the name of the game. Can't leave something up in the zone. These guys are still going to be looking to attack. You have that 6-run lead. Got some insurance runs in your favor. You can't be giving up walks left and right like they're cookies, but you have to continue on looking for the best off-speed pitches. Continue using the fastball. If you can't get the off-speed to work, use the fastball. If you don't have the fastball, try to locate the breaking ball the best you can.
The best teams take advantage of the walks, as the Saints did earlier in this game. The Oaks are going to be trying to do that, as it's another curveball in the dirt. Another great block by Lindsey. And it's 2-2.
And we saw Hansen utilizing back-to-back breaking balls. It's kept Lindsley on his toes behind the plate, making sure that he makes a wall out of himself to make sure the ball is in front of him, not going to give up any additional real estate.
2-2 fastball taken high. And Sharp has worked an 0-2 count back to 3-2. So Hansen in danger of walking the bases loaded with 1 out. JT Naviak on deck. Hansen looking for a strikeout or ground ball here. The 3-2 is fastball taken high, and 3 straight walks for Hansen in the inning. And still only 1 out now for Naviak.
Not what you had in mind for the top of the 4th inning for Creighton Hansen. You've got the 6-run lead. Confidence has to be at an all-time high, but unfortunately just struggling to find the zone here in this inning. Have to continue to pound the zone. Find a ground ball here, keep the ball low, and as he did to start the ball game, just got a lot of ground balls. In total, he has had 6.
First pitch is a strike to Naviak. And like you mentioned, before this inning, he had no walks. So he's been consistent. He's been fine. All of a sudden, this inning, running into little command trouble. But he's at 0-1 on Naviak. Still a 6-run lead. Just got to focus on the hitter. And that one misses. It's 1-1. Feels like forever since we've had a ball in play. The pitching coach coming out.
It's been quite some time. Grant Smith was the one that put the ball in play, popped out to shallow right field.
1-1. Curveball, and it's popped up again. It's going to be shallow right. Callie again. A few steps into the grass will make the catch, and that's a big out for Hansen. A missed opportunity for Naviak and the Oaks.
Home plate umpire calling the infield fly rule, was wondering when he was going to be calling that, and he did as soon as the pop-up was called, once it was played. And 2 outs recorded here for Drew Cowley. Definitely has been busy this inning.
And it'll bring up Carrillo. The chance to not waste this golden opportunity for the Oaks. Down 6, do not want to leave these runners stranded. But Hansen has a chance to get out of it. Carrillo's 0 for 1. He grounded out to short to lead off the 3rd inning. First pitch swinging, he got under it. But it's going to be foul just over third base dugout. Quickly 0-1. The Oaks starting a 4-game road trip. They'll be on the road for the next few days, while the Saints in the middle of a 4-game homestand. One and one to Creel. (7-1) Saints lead. Top of the 4th inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs here for Carrillo. All runners getting on base via a walk. As the Saints look to beat the Oaks for the first time this season. That one's grounded foul. And Hansen now a strike away of getting out of this.
Now I got to be careful with that inside pitch. You saw that Austin Carrillo was able to put some lumber on it inside. So now that he's seen something in the inner half of the plate, maybe you want to change the eye level and change the directions. Maybe go outside, high and outside, and see if maybe he'll go after. After all, you are up in the count, and it's all about trying to catch the hitter off balance.
Hansen with the 1-2 trying to get out of the jam. Off-speed pitch, and Carrillo barely stays alive. They'll do it again.
Wow, that one just able to roll inside of the Conejo Oaks dugout. Perfectly placed. It's not that big of a space to be able to get a baseball in there.
We saw this with Hansen in his start against the OC Riptide. It was the second time through the order, which they started to really get to him a little bit. He was perfect in OC through the first 3. The 1-2 again. To grounder. It's going to be Hansen to field it himself. And an underhand flip to first, and he gets out of the bases loaded jam, allowing no runs here in the 4th inning, maintaining a 6-run lead. The Saints lead 7-1 going to the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network.
Now batting for your Saints, number 21, Drew Cowley.
Drew Cowley will lead things off for the Saints in the bottom of the 4th. As Joseph Wiersma back out there, the Saints have been able to score multiple runs every inning so far. They have the right guys here in the 4th, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. As that one's in the dirt from Wiersma, ball 1 to Cowley. Cowley got hit by the pitch in the 1st inning, came around to score, and then grounded up to 3rd in the 2nd. That one's grounded at 1st. Diving play by Bobo. Heck of a play. Toss to the pitcher, covering to get him. What a play by Bobo.
A big-time play there by Brandon Bobo. Trying to put away the leadoff batter. Would not have looked good if they have allowed Drew Cowley to be able to get on. That would be 4 straight innings
Next
that
up for
the
your
Oaks have
Saints,
allowed
number
the Saints to get their
27,
leadoff
Josh
batter on, and
Cowden.
this is just a confidence booster, really trying to get Wiersma back into gear.
And sometimes that defensive play to help him out is what can do it. Wiersma looking for a shutdown inning. As I mentioned, have not had one of those. Here's Cowden, the milkman. He swings and misses. Cowden's walked and singled. He came around to score last inning on the Lindsley RBI single. The 0-1 to Cowden. Off-speed pitch taken high, 1-1. Josh Cowden from BYU. Pretty much penciled in the lineup every day in left field. He's been hitting in the 3, 4, 5 spots. Rotated between those throughout the season. That fastball's taken high, 2-1.
Really has earned himself that position. And none of these positions are really bought here in this. You really do have to earn it here, out here. It's not easy to be able to get any of these positions. There's a lot of talent in every position, as Josh Cowden does lead the team in at bats. He does have 42 coming into this game, and it just goes to show you the work ethic that Cowden has.
Yeah, and that shows the head coach Aaron Miley. He wants him in the lineup most of the time. Obviously, he'll get his occasional days off, but he's one of the guys that, as I said, pretty much every day, even when he gives some of those guys that don't play all the time some starts, he keeps Cowden in there. And if he keeps producing like he is, it's not going to change. It's now full count with 1 out, nobody on. Pitch from Wiersman is ball 4, and Cowden for all 3 plate appearances has gotten on base so far tonight.
Can't put Josh Cowden away. This is a guy that has been getting on. This is a guy that is making things happen here for the Saints throughout the year, and especially tonight. Really trying to fight back against the Conejo Oaks and really trying to avenge the losses that they have endured against the Conejo Oaks. And I mean, I think you and I expected this, Jared, going into this ball game. These are 2 ball clubs that are, at this point, very familiar with each other, playing 3 times, it feels like, in the last 5 days.
Lewis, a grounder to second on a 1-hop, and it's going to be a double play for the Oaks. It looked like a liner. Great job by Capozzi, who came in at second, snags it on the 1-hop, and an easy double play to double up Peyton Lewis. And Wiersman, with a good 4th inning, keeps the lead at 7-1 for the Saints as we go to the top of the 5th. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. New pitcher for the Saints as we start inning number 5. It'll be the righty John Chompko from the University of Texas San Antonio, as that closes the book for Creighton Hansen, who went 4 innings, had 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 hits, and 1 earned run allowed. Not credited for the win because he did not go to the 5th, but Chompko can get that with a clean 5th inning here. And the Saints still with a 6-run lead, looking to hold on. For Chompko, he'll get top of the order for the Oaks, starting with Gregory. He shows bunt and pulls it back. It's ball 1. Chompko, only 1 run allowed so far this season, and it came against the Oaks last Thursday, as he'll be looking to bounce back and shut them down here. Tied for 2nd on the team in strikeouts with Garnett. Fires in a strike there, only behind his college teammate, Kyle Sondak. I mentioned before, Chompko and Sondak have been excellent. Chompko looking to continue that. Oaks had bases loaded with 1 out last inning, could not cash in. Looking to bounce back here in the 5th. And a nice off-speed pitch there, in for a strike. It's 1-2.
This bullpen really has been holding down the fort when you have your closer like Daniel Richardson, you have Fino Amador, you have Sondak, you have Chompko, a lot of guys with south of 2 ERAs and really keeping the opposition quiet. So if you thought you had it easy going against the starting pitcher, well, guess again, you have it even tougher against the pen.
And we mentioned how Milam letting his starters go a little bit more, but when you have some of these guys in the bullpen, you have the luxury of not having to. If Hansen got into trouble last inning, okay, we can pull him because we have a Chompko that we can throw in. It's not like he doesn't have guys he can trust back there to go in. And Chompko now on a 2-2 count misses. It's 3-2. Chompko, another guy that doesn't walk a lot of men, but last Thursday walked a guy into the Oaks, and that guy came around to score, in which the Saints eventually lost by 1 after a comeback was short. It's full count pitch here to Gregory. That's lined up the middle. It's going to get down, a leadoff single for the Oaks. 2nd hit of the game for Gregory.
Tell you what, that's also a rarity for John Chompko. That is base hit number 2. Had he allowed the walk, it would have been walk number 3. So either way, both are a rarity. The CCL has been struggling to be able to touch John Chompko and looking to continue on with the dominance. And I'm expecting Coach Milan to be putting up his best arms here coming out of the pen to be able to hang on to this 6-run lead.
Here's TJ Foreman. That's a grounder with a big hole in between 1st and 2nd. We'll get to right field. Gregory rounding 2nd. He's on his way to 3rd. The throw in from Grace is not going to be in time. And 1st and 3rd now for the Oaks with still nobody out.
Good directional hitting there by TJ Foreman. He knew that he had to get a ball to right field. That would allow Zach Gregory to be able to go from 1st to 3rd there. And it's already smelling like trouble for Chompko. Something we haven't seen this year for Chompko. It's ducks in the corners, still no outs, and this is looking very dangerous.
Like we said, the one outing that Chompko allowed those walks and hits happened to be against the Oaks. As here's Bobo, the first baseman, made a nice diving stop defensively in the bottom of the 4th. He got under that one out towards right, deep. Back goes Grace to the track and will make the catch just shy of the wall. Runner will tag from 3rd and score, while Foreman will take 2nd. Bobo just missed a 3-run bomb as that had Grace back to the wall, but that's allowed out number 1.
Brandon Bobo, very familiar with what the situation is. We all knew that he was aiming for the long ball there, but ideally he knew he had to get under the ball, hit something in the deep part of the park, try to allow Gregory to tag from 3rd to come in to score. Did his job nicely. Now trying to cut the deficit. Now it's a 7-2 ball game.
Bobo just missing 3-run blast. Would have been a 2nd home run in the CCL. Here's Grant Smith now. He takes a strike, going 1. Still plenty of time for the Oaks to get back in this one. Saints bullpen going to have to be good and keep their bats going. They scored 7 runs in the first 3 innings. As Grant Smith looking for another hit here that can Driving Foreman from second. Off-speed pitch taken for strike. It's 0-2. Great base running by Foreman. Heads up base running to get from first to second on the Bobo sac fly.
Don't usually see runners tagging from first and trying to go into second, but when you do have a deep fly ball that goes to the warning track at right, you do have a better chance to be able to advance, and especially because Foreman is a good base runner.
Yeah, he has speed on the bases. That's why a base hit from Smith here. Foreman, you know, will be trying to score.
That's why as an outfielder, you got to come in charging hard and have to come up with the best throw to home. You already know he's going to come in to score if a base hit goes.
Smith just gets a piece of that fastball. Remains 0-2. We've already seen a few times this year the Saints gun runners out at the plate. Peyton Lewis did it one time at Ventura. Cowden and even Jonah Sebring with some cannons, some darts to the plate. A base hit, and the Saints would get another opportunity here, but Chomko would rather not allow the hit as he's got Smith down to the count 0-2.
Consider the corner outfielders. Both of them have arms, so that's something that you really got to be aware of as far as the scouting report is.
Looked like Foreman was about to swipe third. Elects not to, and Smith fouls it off. He was bouncing a lot out there. Chomko didn't see him.
Now you're going to see Chomko keep an eye out on him, see how aggressive of a primary lead he's going to take over at second. And you know what, something worth mentioning, yesterday, or I should say Sunday's game, the team was required to come in early to practice on back picks over at second.
And now they got Foreman picked off, and he's in a pickle. Elliott tags him out. Great job by Chomko. Foreman dancing a little too much out there. And he's the second out. Great pickoff move there from Chomko.
And we talked about it. This team practiced on the execution side of the game, pitch with the pitchers on the mound, working on back picks over at second. And Chomko just going back to his teachings on Sunday on what Coach Milam showed them as far as back picks at second, trying to show them the best moves to deliver over to second. I mean, anybody can really have an A1 pickoff move at first, but it's all about having an A1 move in second as well, wherever you could get your outs.
And a strike away from getting out of it, and he gets just that. A swing and miss from Smith, and Chomko gets out of it. The Oaks get one back. It's now a 5-run game. Saints lead 7-2 going to the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to Saints Baseball on Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network.
batting for the Saints.
Jake
number
McMurray to
2,
lead things off for the Saints in the bottom of the 5th, as he'll be facing a new pitcher, as it'll be Nick Rinkover, the lefty southpaw from Pierce Community College. Taking the mound, that'll do it for Wiersma, who went 4 innings, 1 strikeout, 3 walks, 6 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them being earned. As McMurray first pitch swinging, fouls it off his leg, and it's 0-1.
Jake McMurray's really going to have to walk that one off. That's the hardest part of the game, when you foul off a pitch on your foot or on your shin or your knee. There have been guys that have
broken something, yeah.
They've broken something. They go to the IL, and they've lost some time. I mean, one guy in particular, it wasn't a foul ball off of him, but one guy that does come to mind, Corey Seager, getting hit in his hand and being out between 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, that's the worst thing I know as a Braves fan. Freddie Freeman did it a few years ago as well. Anytime you see a hitter, that ball comes inside, their instinct's to turn real quick, and they drop it and it hits them right in the wrist area, palm area.
The tender area of the hand.
The worst part to be hit. And McMurray lines one to left. That's another hit for him. And 2 laser singles for McMurray in this game. He's 2 for 3 now.
Good to see McMurray going off here. We haven't seen too much production from Jake McMurray. Definitely had a lot of production for Oral Roberts, but coming with the Saints, starting to feel comfortable, starting to see what McMurray can do with the stick, and having himself a 2-hit day.
Now batting for the Saints, number 33, Tanner Lindsley.
And I'll bring up Lindsley. He singled in 2 runs back in inning number 3. He's reached base both times. Leadoff man on again for the Saints. First pitch to Lindsley's a strike 0-1. It's 0-1 now to Lindsley. Lefty versus lefty matchup. Wind up and pitch. It's an off-speed pitch in there for a strike of beauty, and it's quickly 0-2.
Went with the changeup that time. Trying to get Tanner Lindsley off balance there already. 1 for 1 has not been put in the shelf this evening, and just trying to find out how they can retire him.
That's a grounder off the pitcher's glove. Rinkover's going to get it, only plays the first, fires it in the dirt, cannot be picked by Bobo. And Lindsley will take first. They would have had him. Rinkover, I don't know if he was mad off his glove. He flung that ball over to first. Very hard in the dirt. And now the Saints will have first and second here. Nobody out.
That time Rinkover trying to rebound from that ball that was sharply hit to him, but the throw was offline. It's going to be an error for Tanner Lindsley, him getting on.
I mean, Lindsley's been on base all 3 times. Grace, first pitch swing, grounded to first. Didn't even see where it went. It's going to be a double play. Great play by Rinkover as a pitcher covering. Grace hit the ball off the end of the bat. Didn't even know where it went, so he did not run. Bobo threw it over to Naviak at short, who touched second and threw it to Rinkover covering. Threw him off the bag a little bit, but good job by him to recover. And just like that, pitch later, and it's a double play for the Oaks, and there's 2 outs with the runner on third.
Why you always have to run it out no matter what. Always have to make sure that wherever the ball is hit, run it out. Don't know what can happen. It's just one of those things that Jack Grace wasn't aware of where the baseball was hit at.
Yeah, Grace looked in the air. Thought he got under it. But a big out for Rinkover in the Oaks. As now there's 2 down. And it's Brandon Boning. He walked his last time up, flew out to right in the first. At Baz, he takes a strike there, 0-1.
Now batting for the Saints, number 10, Brandon Boning.
The 0-1 to the Saints shortstop. Beautiful curve ball, just misses. It's 1-1. Chance for Boning to get a 2-out RBI here and get that run back for the Saints. Boning from Cal State Northridge. Pretty much the everyday shortstop there. Been the everyday shortstop here. That's grounded hard to short. Naviak on the hop. Strong throw to first in time for out number 3. So double play ball and then a ground out there for Rinkover. as he has a clean fifth inning. It's a 7-2 game going to the sixth. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. John Chopko out there for his second inning of work in the top of the sixth, where the Saints still holding on to a 7-2 lead. It'll be Capozzi to lead things off for the Oaks. He came in as a substitution for Burford back in the fourth inning, and he walked on 4 pitches as he takes a strike there.
Number 36, Robert Capozzi.
It's 0-1 from Chopko. Chopko allowed a run last inning as the Oaks cut it to a 5-run deficit. Looking for a clean 6th inning. The 0-1, Capozzi way out in front, it's 0-2. The Saints win on Sunday. They snapped a 4-game losing streak. And Chopko strikes out Capozzi on 3 pitches, made him look silly.
Best pitches that Chomko has delivered in this relief appearance. Just coming in with a whole lot of confidence, especially being roughed up in his first inning of work. Just starting to see a difference in Chomko's delivery, a difference in his approach, and going right after Capozzi.
Now get the center fielder Sandoval. First pitch, a swing and a miss, 0-1.
Now batting for the Oaks, number 14, Raul Sandoval.
Sandoval struck out and walked in his 2 plate appearances. The 0-1. Fastball blown by him, quickly 0-2. 5 straight strikes from Chomko to open up the 6th.
Not just strikes, those are swing and misses there for Chomko. Those are all confidence boosters as well. That's going to get him through this at-bat and potentially even this inning.
0-2, fastball way high. Last grab of that one. It'll be 1-2. Sandoval from UC Davis. The 1-2. Just misses outside. It's even count, 2-2.
A lot of Big West guys here in the CCL. Quite a few guys boning very familiar with Sandoval from UC Davis, CSUN. Have some Cal State Fullerton guys as well playing over there in the Riptide. Nice to see the Big West getting a lot of love in the CCL.
That one's fouled off. Yeah, for the most part, this California Collegiate gets locals. For the most part, occasionally you'll see, like for the Saints, Dom Dorado come from New York. You see a few Texas. For the most part, it's some local guys, local schools. 2-2 is lined right at Cooper Elliott. Nice jumping play over at third for out number 2.
Cat-like reflexes there for Cooper Elliott, showing it off there. He's been a nice little utility piece for the Arroyo Seco Saints. We have seen him play some innings in center, getting the start here in third base. He's been fielding his position very nicely wherever he is playing.
And I'll bring up Andrew Sharp. He got the Oaks on the board in the second inning with an RBI single to left, then walked in the fourth. First pitch swinging, it's grounded fouled on the first base line. Good effort over there by McMurray, but it's fouled nonetheless, 0-1.
Definition of hustle. Not a lot of guys have that nowadays. It's good to see that there's some guys out there that still have hustle, still have heart, whether it's fair or foul, and never want to play it. You can never be too safe on plays like that. Better to just keep it in front of you as opposed to allowing extra bases.
And I feel like for the most part in the CCL, we've seen definitely with the Saints and even with other teams, most of these guys are out here working hard. 1-1.
There's been a lot of guys putting in that effort and just trying to make a name not in just in their team but in the league as well. Showcase game coming up July 14th.
Yes.
And I feel like it's already around the corner. June is well almost past us.
1-1. Fastball buzzing in there for strike 2.
Sharp definitely getting that second opinion from the home plate umpire, asking him, is this how low and away this pitch is going to be?
And it feels like we've seen a different Chomko here in inning number 6, absolutely attacking these hitters. The fastball's buzzing, going right after these guys. They're getting a lot of swing and misses. Looking for another here to get out of the 6th. The 1-2 fastball's taken high. It's 2-2.
Definitely a much different Chomko. This is the Chomko we're used to seeing. The guy that we saw in the previous inning was a little off balance, wasn't comfortable, was very timid in the first inning of work. Now he has relaxed. He has one inning under his belt and definitely has better composure on the mound.
2-2. That one's in the dirt. And Sharp has worked it full. It's 3-2. JT Naviak on deck if Sharp were to reach. Chomko looking to send us to the bottom of the 6th. Saints leading 7-2. It all got started with a Connor Bradshaw solo shot in the bottom of the 1st. Full count pitch. Swung on and missed. Sharp comes up empty. Great inning there for John Chomko. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning with the Saints leading 7-2. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Bottom of the sixth, 7-2 Saints lead as Connor Bradshaw on the top of the order. Get things started for the Saints. Trying to extend this 5-run lead. They've not scored since the third inning. But Connor Bradshaw has been the name in the scoring. A homer in the first, an RBI triple in the second. As Nick Rinkover's back out there for his second inning of work and throws ball one. And that one misses, 2-0. Rinker allowed 2 base runners and got a double play and a ground ball to get out of it last half inning. Behind 3-0 now to Bradshaw's. He's in danger of walking the leadoff man here in the sixth. 3-0. In their first strike, it's 3-1. Lefty-lefty matchup. Could see a lot of teams the Saints play this year trying to throw their lefties against them. Obviously, we said Saints very lefty-heavy lineup. That one, Bradshaw looks like he got under it. Out to right. Out there's Foreman. Looks under it. Has to run back in. Makes the catch for out number 1.
Foreman definitely lost that in the night sky. Seems like now that stadium lights are in effect, it's starting to see different conditions here in Jackie Robinson Field. So these fly balls, you're going to have to give a second eye to it and make sure you're tracking them down nicely. Foreman looked like a routine fly ball, but it had some movement up in the sky.
Number 3, Cooper Elliott.
And I'll bring up Cooper Elliott, Saints third baseman. Shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike anyways, 0-1. Elliott has reached base twice, but is 0 for 1. Hit by pitch in the first, a walk in the second, but grounded out with the bases loaded in the third. That one's taken low. It's 1-1. That's a chopper towards short. Naviak's got it. Strong throw to first in time, and 2 up, 2 down for Rinkover here in the sixth.
Like that bunt attempt there for Cooper Elliott. Was actually trying to get the third baseman shuffling around. Grant Smith, after that pitch, was playing in the infield grass. Then the following pitch backed up to be parallel towards the bag. Then the following pitch where he grounded out to short. He was definitely playing behind the bag. So if Cooper Elliott has an opportunity to get a bunt down, not a bad idea. Cooper Elliott does have the wheels to be able to get on as well.
We saw those wheels earlier as he stole a bag in the second inning. And it's now 0-1 to Cali. Cali 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch as well. Fastball buzzed right by him. It's 0-2. We have a defensive substitution actually for the Oaks, as when Capozzi came in for Beaufort, he went to third and pushed Smith to second. So Grant Smith at second, now Capozzi at third. As the 0-2 from Cali is a curveball swung on a miss. An impressive inning there from Nick Rinkover. As 1, 2, 3 go the Saints in the sixth. 2/3 of the way there. We're going to the seventh. Saints lead 7-2. New pitcher for the Saints as we start inning number 7. It'll be Chris Stamos, the lefty, coming on to face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Oaks, as we're joined with a special guest, catcher John, a.k.a. Bo Willis. Bo, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It feels good to be here. How are you?
Not bad. First question I want to ask you is where did the name Bo come from?
So when I started walking, when I was, obviously a toddler, my dad would call me into a room, and I'd waddle in there, and he'd throw like a pillow at my feet, and I'd trip and fall on it. And what he noticed was that I was extremely bow-legged when that was happening.
So it started when you were very little and
Yeah.
just carried your entire life.
Yeah, my legs were just curved as they could be.
So are you saying all throughout Little League, travel ball, high school ball, and college ball, everybody called you Bo?
Oh, yeah.
Basically?
When I was little, during coach pitch and all that, people at my school called me Easton by my middle name.
Oh, wow.
Same thing with my dad. He goes by his middle name too. His name was John Eric, and throughout, I think in middle school or elementary school to middle school, I changed it. Then everyone started calling me Bo, and then it just kind of stuck. Everyone I knew called me Bo, and in college, I don't bother to correct professors, so they all just call me John.
Okay.
2-1 to Navax, grounded to short, right at Boning, a routine play. And throw to first is in time for out number 1. So, Bo, can you explain the process of how you became a Saint?
So when I was at Texas Tech, my first 2 semesters of college, Coach Gardner, the pitching coach, got me this gig with 2 other Texas Tech pitchers. And that was the year it got canceled. And the year after, I got an email again to come join the team again, and I was really lucky for that, and I was very excited to be invited back out here.
And you're out here in SoCal. What have been your thoughts so far? I mean, seeing here, it's very different for how it is for you back at home. How have you been liking SoCal life?
I love it. The weather is always baseball weather. It's always sunny. Hardly see any clouds. The fields are great. I love this weather. I've played here a couple times before, and it is better than the humidity of Houston, and the weather is way more consistent. I love it.
So, obviously, you went on the papers stuff. You went to Weatherford, and if I'm not mistaken, you're currently transferring, correct?
Yes.
In Northwestern State.
Yes, that's correct.
How excited are you to go play there, and kind of explain the decision to go there and the transfer and everything like that?
I came across Northwestern State this past spring. They contacted me while I was at Weatherford Junior College, and it was between them and Louisiana Lafayette, and it was between them two, and then Lafayette filled that need, so it made that decision a little easier. But I was leaning towards Northwestern State, and what they described to me, it was really exciting, and I don't have to live in another dorm for another year.
Yeah.
And they got a bunch of JUCO guys, or a handful of JUCO transfers like me, and all their staff, except a couple guys, are staying. And I'm really excited to go to the Southland Conference and be in a D1 again and compete there.
3-1 from Stamos is lined up the middle. Boning runs over and makes the catch for out number 2.
Heard your little reaction, that wow reaction.
I thought that was hit a little harder.
It was, right? I thought it was going to end up in center, but what have been your thoughts? Seeing the game from this angle, you get to watch it from the dugout perspective sometimes, or even on the field, but you're seeing it from our point of view. How's it been? What do you think?
I love it. I'd kill for a perspective like this, especially at big league ballparks. And but the dugout view is pretty cool. You get to hear the chatter and everyone in the team coming together a little bit as the season goes on.
Yeah, but I'd like to ask, as Gregory shows bunt, it's going to be a difficult play for Stamos. Throws in the dirt. It's going to get into right. Gregory's going to take off for second. And he's thinking third. He's going to head there. The throw coming into third, not going to be in time. And Gregory gets all the way to third with 2 outs on the throwing error from Stamos.
Yeah, that's a tough play for a lefty pitcher.
What I was saying, Bo, is I like to ask everyone that we interview, is there a player growing up or even now that you try to base your game off of, whether a professional player, family member, anyone that you try to base your game off of?
I believe it was 2016 or 2017, I saw Wilson Contreras be in the first All-Star game of his career, and they did a little background on him, and just what he played for and how he plays the game really inspired me, and I would love to one day play the game as hard and passionate he does. That's a guy. That's probably the catcher I look up to the most. I try to base off my aggression and my thought process like he does in his game.
TJ Foreman with an RBI single to right drives in Gregory. It's now a 7-3 game lead for the Saints.
Definitely, that's a great guy to look up to. I mean, Yadier Molina's in the back end of his career, but I mean, this is a guy that could still swing a red hot bat, and this is a guy that you still can't run on him. You can't run on him. It doesn't matter how old he is or how many miles his arm has or anything. This is a guy that you still can't run on. But I really feel like Wilson Contreras is going to be the next Yadier Molina coming up in the major leagues.
And they actually had a rule change because of him. He's the reason that the catchers aren't allowed to have as many visits, because he would have a lot in one inning just to get on the same page with the pitcher. And I liked his middle game aspect. Even though he's playing the most demanding position, he still hits, and he has the mentality to do it.
Bobo pops that one up. It's going to be caught by Boning for out number 3. 7-3 lead for the Saints going to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time. Bo, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
It was a pleasure. And we'll go to the bottom of the 7th. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Bottom of the 7th, the Saints now with only a 4-run lead as the Oaks continue to slowly knock on the door. Saints 6 outs away of holding on, but looking to add to it. Josh Cowden, Peyton Lewis, and Jake McMurray due up here. The bottom of 7. New pitcher for the Oaks will be Will Kokillard, the right-handed sophomore from Georgia Tech, 6'8". First pitch to Cowden's outside for a ball.
He's 6'8", but he really has that slim frame, weighing in
Chris
at
Sale,
235.
like.
Exactly. But a right-handed pitcher as
Yeah.
opposed to lefty.
Doesn't have quite the sidearm like Sale either, but 2-0 now to Cowden. Cowden's reached base all 3 times. 2 via the walk. 1 a single, and on the single he came around to score. Two-0 swinging, that's right up the middle for a base hit. And Cowden reaches base all 4 times. In this game, that's his second hit.
That's a responsibility of the cleanup hitter, of course, to drive in runs, but when it's your turn to hit, you find a way to get on base. Doesn't matter how, he has found his way on. This may be the guy that they'll be keeping in this part of the lineup for sure, and definitely the top part of the order has been working, but to be quite honest with you, the runs scored has really been coming from hitters 1 to 7.
Here's Peyton Lewis. First pitch. And we're ball 1-0. And this was something I talked about when the Saints beginning of the year, when they started using a lot of pitchers, because obviously when lineups see a pitcher like a starter, say the second, third turn of the order, they can start to get someone. But it's also dangerous to constantly take out pitchers and put new ones in, because that's a strike from Coquillard. Because one of your bullpen guys is just not going to have their best stuff that night, and a team can capitalize. Not that the Oaks are changing their pitcher too much, but it's just sometimes that's why a pitching change, it could help a team out or it could hurt them, because Coquillard might not have his best stuff tonight, and the Saints can score, really open this game up. 1-1, Lewis out to right. That's going to get down for a hit. Cowden's going to take third. He will get there easily, and the runner's going to be at the corners now with nobody out. First hit of the game for Lewis.
And you were talking about constantly changing your arms. I mean, we had Nick Rincover that came in for a very quick 2 innings of work, but he was in control of the game. I mean, he had a 1-2-3 inning, and you're taking him out already after, yes, he got roughed up in the first inning of work in the bottom of the 5th inning, but then he rebounds in the 6th and has a 1-2-3 inning, but then you get another arm, and you're really digging into your bullpen here. I mean, you're behind by 4 runs, and if you do see Rincover, he was in command. He was in control, and we were very surprised how quick he got through the 6th inning. It was the top half of the order.
Yep. And so far, Coquillard allowed 2 singles the first 2 batters he faced, and he falls behind McMurray here. McMurray has had 2 laser singles to left. Looking to add another and get himself an RBI. The 1-0 is crushed to left. Back goes Gregory, back to the track, and it's going to hop off the wall. Could not see the ball. A run will score. It'll be an RBI double for McMurray.
That thing was smoked by Jake McMurray. This is what the Saints have been looking for. They have been giving Jake McMurray endless opportunities, and he has not shown up to the plate early on in the year. Now he is fully awakened, and this is why they liked Jake McMurray. This is why they recruited him to play for the Arroyo Seco Saints. The power numbers that McMurray produces there at the plate, he has finally awakened from his slumber, and he is producing.
Yep, a 3-hit game for McMurray. Infield will come in now. It's 8-3 lead for the Saints. First pitch to Lindsey. He's taken on the outside corner for a strike. I don't know about you. I didn't see where that ball went. I don't know if it went over the fence. From our angle, it's difficult to see.
It was definitely one hopped off of the left field wall, but just imagine, this is from left field.
Exactly, I was about to say that.
If he hit one to right that same way, I think it'd be a much different ball.
Even to center, I think that ball's gone. Lindsey out in front of the changeup, it'll be 0-2. But McMurray, nonetheless, that's 3 at-bats in a row now. He's absolutely smoked a ball to left. As he's producing, getting the start at first base tonight. Lindsey's been on base all 3 times. A walk, 2-run single, and an error. Has a chance for more RBIs here. So runners on second and third. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Saints trying to blow this game open. They have a 5-run lead. Potential to make it more. The 0-2 from Coquillard. Curveball just misses. It's 1-2.
Nice discipline by Tanner Lindsley. This was another guy we were talking about early on in the broadcast that the Saints were just waiting for Lindsley to produce, and he's finally putting up some numbers here and putting a dent on the scoreboard and getting on base. Doesn't really seem like he even has a leg injury.
Brother was drafted by the Nationals. 1-2. Fastball misses. 2-2. Lindsley 1 of 2 from Oral Roberts. The man who just doubled Jake McMurray, also from Oral Roberts.
One Oral Roberts player to another. See if he can produce here as well.
See if he can follow his college teammate with another extra base hit. He's worked the count back to 2-2. Wind up and pitch. Speed pitch. Gets a piece of it.
Lindsley was hungry for that hanging breaking ball
Yep.
that was up. Missed it. That's a definite pitch that he could have driven over to right field. He is definitely going to take his time going in the box, really collect himself, rethink about it, because he knew that he missed a pitch that was definitely drivable and put something in the outfield and go over this infield playing in.
2-2. Outside. From 0-2, Lindsay's worked it back to a 3-2 count. Coquillard trying to limit some damage here in the 7th. Allowed 3 straight hits, including an RBI double from McMurray. 3-2. Swung on and missed by Lindsley. So Coquillard gets his first strikeout. Lindsley leaves him on 2nd and 3rd. Still only 1 out now for Grace.
Huge strikeout for Coquillard. That's going to be a definite confidence booster. Now you really want to try to induce a ground ball here to Jack Grace. Allow them to get the inning-ending twin killing here in this one. Jack Grace going to try to avoid that, but by the looks of it, it looks like the infield is still playing in. They're not going to play double play depth on Grace.
Second and 3rd, 1 out. 8-3 Saints lead. Off speed to Grace. Backs out of the way, but it's in there for a strike 0-1.
Ooh, that has some filthy movement in there. And as I mentioned before in previous broadcasts, if you're a hitter and you're shying away from a breaking ball like that and it breaks in there for a called strike, you know it was filthy.
Yeah. So he was backing out of the way like it was going to hit him. There's another one right in there. Back-to-back curveballs, both for strikes. It's 0-2.
As soon as you back away from the box, just like Grace did like that, that is an Achilles heel, and that is a sign of weakness to the pitcher that, hey, he can't handle breaking balls. I'm buckling his knees. I'm getting him to freeze there at the plate. I'm going to keep attacking him with a breaking ball and see if he can even touch it.
Coquillard looking for a second strikeout. Would be a big one. The 0-2. In the dirt. Nice block by Sharp behind the plate. It's 1-2. I think I've mentioned this a lot, Alex. I think this is some of the most underrated pitching standpoints from relievers. Everyone likes the guy that's going to come in there, get a save. But when you're down by 5 is a bit much, but you say you're down 3 runs, 4 runs, 5 runs, this keeps you in a ball game. If he lets up a few more hits here, it gets out of hand. There's no way they're coming back. Grace grounded to short. Runner's coming home. Naviak's going to have to go to first. And we'll throw out Grace, but it will be an RBI ground out. The Saints add to the lead. It's now a 9-3 game.
Saints were able to cash in a run that time, but again, just one of those confusing formations for the Conejo Oaks. You would believe that they could try to turn one there and at least maybe even get the runner at second to be able to turn a double play of some sorts, or trying to go to try to finish up the inning and try to allow the sticks to work, but wasn't the case here.
2 outs now for Boning with the runner on third. As I was saying, is everyone likes to say those guys that can keep the game within 3-4, give you just a chance in the game, I think is very underrated. No one talks about those guys, the guys that can just keep you in the game. I think it's really underrated.
That's the middle relief of the bullpen, the guys that are going to keep you in the ball game and, as they say, hold. That is a stat that is very underrated in baseball. There is a stat called holds in the game of baseball, and it all comes down to the middle relievers. Hey, did you hold your team to a lead? Did you hold your team to this much of a
Yep.
deficit type of thing? So it's an interesting stat that is not really talked about in the game of baseball.
Absolutely. I mean, just this inning, it turns from a 4-run game to back to a 6-run deficit now that the Oaks have to come back from, and they're down to the last 6 outs.
And the Saints really looking to give the gap to the Conejo Oaks already with that 6-run lead. And hey, this offense doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon.
Boney looking at it for his first hit of the night. Will not get it there as the fastball is blown by him for strike 3 and out number 3. But the Saints add 2 more to make it a 9-3 game going to the inning number 8. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. We play inning number 8 with the Saints leading 9-3. New pitcher will be Diego Avila from Claremont McKenna. And he'll get the 4, 5, and 6 hitters of the Oaks, led off by Grant Smith. Grant Smith 0 for 3. He's now playing second base after shifting over from third. And the Saints added 2 more in the bottom half of the 7th, making it a 6-run lead. First pitch swing and popped up towards first base dugout. McMurray will give it a glance. It's 0-1. Oaks down to their last 6 outs, down by 6. In danger of losing their second straight. Arroyo Seco Saints looking to win their second straight. 0-1 from Avila. In the dirt, 21.
Diego Avila has been one of those that has been struggling a bit with his relief appearances. It's good to see him come into the game with a 6-run lead, gives him some innings of work, allow him to be able to get some work, get his fastball and his breaking balls to move, to do its thing, and just to be able to give him some leeway, something to work on definitely.
Yeah, hopefully gives some much needed confidence moving forward, and it gives him, like you said, the 6-run lead gives him a room for error. He doesn't have to be perfect, but can go out there and work on what he wants to work on to continue to get better. He's ahead 1-2 now to Smith. A strikeout here would be a great start.
Well, I think for starters, he's coming in with a 9 ERA. If he can get an inning or two, these last 2 innings, I should say, if he can go with it, get out of it unscathed, could definitely lower down that ERA.
Yep. 1-2-3 inning here. You wonder if you'll see him out in the 9th. The 1-2. Smith does not chase. 2-2. See if Avila goes back to a fastball or goes to another off speed. Smith struck out his last at bat. That was against Chomko. 2-2. It is fastball, but Smith gets a piece of it.
Avila just missing that put-away pitch to be able to get more of those Ks. He is coming in with 4 Ks on the year, and that has been his weakness going into relief appearances, just trying to find that pitch to put guys away. He does get into 2-strike counts, but it's always the batter that gets the better end of it, permitting 6 hits.
That one's fouled off again. As you said, trying to see what he could find to use that as that strikeout pitch, that go-to to finally put someone away. Smith not making it easy. Fouling off these pitches here. It's 2-2. Avila kicks and deals. Grounded to third. Elliott, nice diving play, pops out of his glove. And it's going to be infield hit for Smith, and the leadoff man's on for the Oaks.
We go back to the hustle, and Cooper Elliott with a great demonstration of that. Was able to dive, get it in the leather, but unfortunate, ball was still red hot, was able to roll out of his glove, and by the time he even tries to pick up, runner's well on first.
Infield hit for Smith. His first hit of the night, and this will bring up Capozzi. Capozzi has batted twice since coming in the game. He's walked and he struck out swinging. Pitch is a chopper, slowly to second. Callie's got it, over to Boning. Throw to first, not in time. Just misses a double play by a step. Good hustle by Capozzi to be able to beat it out. And it'll be a fielder's choice.
Very close. Well executed double play there. I love the aggression there by Drew Cowley. Knew that he was still going to have a play over at second. It's still the same situation. They're going to switch base runners, Smith and Capozzi now. And Capozzi able to leg out that fielder's choice and avoiding that double play.
Yeah, the ball was hit just a little too slow for the Saints defense. They did it quick. But now it'll be 1 out, run on first now for Sandoval. Fastball taken high.
Now batting for
Ball
the
1.
Oaks, number 14, Raul Sandoval.
Sandoval's 0 for 2 with a walk. Looking for his first hit. That one's in there for a strike. 1-1. Saints up 9-3 here in the top of the 8th. Had 7 runs in the first 3 innings, added 2 more in the last half inning. 1-1 from Avila, swung and missed. They're going to say a foul tipped by Sandoval. Nonetheless, it's 1-2.
going in with a huge swing. I think his shoe is still flying
Yeah.
inside of the Saints dugout there. And put a little too much sauce on the swing. I definitely think he needs to swing better to put the ball in play and try to get base runners on. I think with a big swing like that, you're not really doing yourself any favors.
Avila looking for his first strikeout of the night. He's ahead 1-2. He winds and fires. Off speed pitch, swung on and miss. He gets it. Sandoval goes down swinging for the second time tonight, and there's now 2 away.
Liking the bite of that breaking ball. It looked like when it was crossing the plate, it was just doing its thing. The spin was just nasty, just kept tailing away from Sandoval. Nothing he could have done there, just trying to protect the plate, maintain the heartbeat to stay alive, and it's a tip of the cap to Avila. That was a disgusting pitch that he delivered.
And maybe that's something he can use as the strikeout pitch going forward. As you said, it looked nasty there against Sandoval. Here's Sharp, now the lefty. He's 1 for 2. A walk and an RBI single.
That'll definitely be a pitch that'll be lethal against right-handed hitters. He is a righty. The pitch is going to break away from a right-handed batter, and at times the right-handed stick will try to stay alive and try to just find a way to foul off the pitch, and unfortunately it goes.
Runner takes off. Avila steps off. Throw to Boning. It's short, and I think they got him. Yes, they did. Another pickoff. Another base running mistake by the Oaks, and it makes Avila's job easy. We are headed to the bottom of the 8th. Saints up 9-3, 3 outs away of getting their 7th win on the season. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Brian Perez, the new pitcher for the Oaks, as he comes in firing a fastball to Connor Bradshaw for strike 1.
Leading off,
As the top of the order for the Saints here in the bottom of the 8th.
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw homered in the first, RBI triple in the second, has struck out and flown out since. He takes a ball to 1-1. So the Saints, obviously, Alex, on a 4-game losing streak for Sunday's action and their win. That one's outside 2-1. You knew it was a matter of time before they got going again. They're too good of a team to. Good teams, I like to say, good teams don't lose 2 in a row. So when you see a good team lose a few in a row, you know it's like, okay, it's only a matter of time before they turn it around.
Well, losing isn't necessarily a bad thing as well. I know it sounds wild what I'm about to say right now, but losing results to learning a lot of the game. What did we do wrong? Why did we lose these games? And they lost 4 straight against very good CCL teams. And they this team still needed a lot of learning to do. They played against some tough CCL opponents, but again, when you lose, it does give you opportunity to learn, to up your game. When you win, you're already assuming, hey, we did everything right. We won the game. No need to improve our craft. But when we lose, it gives you an opportunity to get better.
Leadoff walk for Bradshaw, and he'll take first base as Perez walks him. Yeah, I like that you said that because, we won the first 4 games of the season. It started out 4-0, and it's kind of like a wake-up call. Like, it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be like that the rest of the season. And they hit some league play, and I think it might have woke them up a little bit. Said, okay, these are some of the teams. San Luis Obispo still undefeated in league play. They're in first place. Saints will see them on Saturday.
There's still some good teams that they're going to play against. San Luis Obispo, you mentioned it, but Santa Barbara is going to be a team that's going to be interesting. They're the reigning 2019 champions, and I know there's still some bad blood for the Arroyo Seco Saints. Remember, that was the championship game, Saints versus the Foresters, and that's going to be in the back of the Saints' mind, especially this coaching staff for the Saints, and they still haven't even played them. But if you want to look at the SoCal division, it is loaded, and I mean loaded. San Luis Obispo has been a team. The Foresters have been a great team. Riptide is still a team that can stay in the map. You look at the Academy Barons, who they have a nice little squad over there at Compton as well, and they actually beat the Saints.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Oaks. Obviously, they're 3-1 in league play and beaten the Saints twice. They're only a half a game behind the San Luis Obispo Blues. Saints came in 2.5 behind. Still early, obviously, to look at standings. Remember, the CCL Showcase game is July 14th, as it's 0-2 to Cooper Elliott.
Can't wait to watch that one. The
Yeah,
SoCal division is loaded with talent as well. There's so many guys here that are very talented. I mean, the Saints team has a lot of guys that are talented, but you look at the guys in the opposing dugout, the Oaks have a lot of guys. We've seen just a variety of guys, and unfortunately, as much as we would like to see just a field full of Saints, the Saints have to share the field with others, and there's a lot of talent out there, a lot of products.
And it will be fun to see all that talent all on the same field at one time as Elliott sends that down the left field line foul. Count remains 0-2.
It's going to be at the Academy, the home of the Barons there in Compton.
Yep. You mentioned Santa Barbara, a rematch, 2019 championship. Saints host them tomorrow night. Elliott lines that one base hit to right. Bradshaw will get to second. And the Saints with a walk and a single now. First 2 guys on here in the the 8th.
And very obvious, the Saints still not content with the 6-run lead. They still have their foot on the gas pedal, looking for some more runs on the board. They still haven't forgotten the sting of the 2 losses that they have against the Conejo Oaks, and definitely trying to make up for all of it and trying to make a winning streak. After losing 4, now they have some momentum. They have some purpose to play now as far as to continue going with playing great baseball.
First pitch to Cowley's taken for a ball. It's 11 hits now for the Saints, contributed to their 9 runs. Surprisingly, Drew Cowley doesn't have one of them. One of the team's top hitters. Over 3. Did reach base and score a run back in the first after getting hit by the pitch. 0-1, it's taken outside.
Cowley definitely one of the few guys that hasn't recorded a base hit. Almost everybody has gotten a base hit today.
Yep, one of the few not to join the hit parade. That won't happen very often this season with Cowley. I mean, he could change this at bat right here. And he does just that. Over the shortstop's head for a hit. Bradshaw rounding third. Elliott just behind him. Bradshaw's going to go home. Elliott makes a hard stop at third while Cowley's into second with an RBI double. And there you go. He changed that on us right there.
It's a very odd play there. It was a line drive that looked like it was going to go to JT Naviak. Still had a little bit of elevation over his head, but completely allowed that line drive to get by him. No attempt in trying to grab that line drive. It looked like he lost it or couldn't even track it down when it was struck. So more runs on the board, double figures now, 7-run lead now.
Yep, 10-3 now for the Saints. Their 12th hit of the game, and it brings up Cowden. Who's reached base all 4 times, 2 base hits, 2 walks. Both base hits he's come around to score. And he has a chance to drive in a couple runs here. Still nobody out. Elliott at third, Callie on second. That one's taken at the knees for a strike. Perez in the windup. Pitch misses outside, 1-1. Brian Perez, freshman. Undecided. Was college. The 1-1. Blown right by Cowden, it's 1-2.
Almost seems like a free agent.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, seriously. Because you know there'll be some, probably has choice of a few schools.
Has made a smart decision to play in the CCL. I'm sure there'll be guys.
Cowden out to left. Gregory a few steps back, looks under it. Will make the catch. Elliott's going to tag from third, and he will score with ease. It's a sac fly for Cowden. His first RBI of the game, and 11-3 Saints lead.
Smart idea there for Cooper Elliott to tag and to come in to score. All the momentum for Zach Gregory was on the run, and while he made that grab on the run, that one, he was running towards the line, so that would be near impossible for him to try to come up with a great throw at the plate. So all you can really do is just make sure you record the out, and just that's it. Now you're looking for outs.
Now it's Peyton Lewis, takes ball 1. Runner on second, 1 out. 2 runs already in here in the 8th for the Saints. Peyton Lewis singled last inning, came around to score. Had a sac fly back in the first, and a play that resulted in 2 runs. The 1-0. Off speed, jammed him. Back to the mound. Perez is going to get it. It's going to be a difficult play. Throw cannot be caught by Bobo at first. He looks at his glove while Callie comes around to score. As the ball goes out of play, and Peyton Lewis will take second, and just everything going wrong right now for the Oaks.
Defense is completely collapsing here, and right about now, like we mentioned, just you got to look for clean execution, get yourself out of the inning, and the Saints, they're capitalizing. They're making sure, and this has been the storyline of the game, along with all the base running that has been done in the early parts of the game. But it's capitalizing on the mistakes that the Conejo Oaks have been committing throughout this ball game. Mental mistakes, fielding errors, not executing while having bases loaded, and it's biting them in the rear end right about now, and this is really unorthodox for the Conejo Oaks. We've seen them play some great baseball against the Saints, and now really collapsing against the Saints.
Absolutely. Like you said, and I mentioned at the beginning of the game, the Saints, a team that normally takes advantage of these mistakes. If you walk and hit batters in the Saints lineup, they'll make you pay, and then obviously these miscues, and just some of the miscues, not even just necessarily errors, just laziness, and also heads up credit to the Saints who've been great base running all day, always taking the extra base when they give it the chance. And it's resulted in 12 runs as McMurray will now come to the plate. The last play, Perez throw to first. Bobo looked like he went through his glove almost. He looks at his glove. He couldn't catch it. Murray takes strike 1.
It's a real tough play for a first baseman. A pitcher having to come in to pick up the ball, then firing over to first, and it was a really close play over at first. It was one of those where Lewis was arriving to the bag while Bobo was trying to record the out, and it's just one of those, you're trying to still record the out around the base runner. And as a first baseman, that is very tough. People think that playing first is easy. Well, no, it's a very tough and a very physically demanding position that is very difficult. And when a throw is low to you, you have to be able to avoid the throwing error. You have to be very good with your one hops, picking the ball out of the dirt and making sure that you're still being able to record outs and being able to execute on defensive plays as far as bunt defense is. And as a first baseman, corner infield position, it is not easy. I know the guys make it look easy for sure.
And McMurray swings and misses. He goes down for out number 2 via the strikeout. And yeah, I think it goes to show it's such a difficult play. I mean, even in the major leagues, pitchers going to field the ground ball and to throw to first. How many times do you see that ball sailed into right or in the dirt? It's just a wild throw. And not saying that was a bad throw on Perez, as it did hit Bobo in the glove, but we saw Stamos 2 innings ago as well throw it by the first baseman. You see it often. The pitchers have trouble making that throw to whether it's first, second, or third.
Oh, that's even harder. And Stamos was a southpaw that had to come in and try to come up with a throw.
Lindsey hits that one out towards center. Run over it. And a diving play is going to be made by Sandoval. Couldn't tell if he held the ball, but he did. A great defensive play by Sandoval to retire the side. The Saints add 3 more runs to stretch the lead to 12-3 as they are 3 outs away from winning their second straight game. You're listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network. Tommy Hannon is on the mound to finish this game off for the Saints as they have a 12-3 lead as we play inning number 9. As it looks like it'll be a pinch hitter for the Oaks. It'll be Caden Tsuji. Caden Tsuji, the catcher from Austin Pay. Takes a strike, going one. As Tommy Hannon is on the mound from UC Berkeley. That one's fouled off straight back, 0-2. Tsuji's only batted once in league play. This is his second at bat. Hannon looking to strike him out. That one's outside, 1-2. So we play inning number 9 this game, just over 3 hours. A lot of runs scored early on. One, two from Hannon. Strung on and miss. Strike 3 on Tsuji. So Tommy Hannon comes in and strikes out the first batter he sees for out number 1 in the 9th.
That's strikeout number 10 for Tommy Hannon, and it was only a matter of time. This guy definitely does a great job as far as managing the game and really limiting the damage. This guy has yet to record an ERA on 5 innings of work, only permitting 3 hits, and has only walked 1 guy. So this is the guy that, well, hey, let's call it a night. Let's put Hannon out there and let him just finish up the business.
First pitch from Hannon is a strike, as it looks like another pinch hitter for the Oaks. Looks like Cody Kulak. And he quickly takes 2 fastballs for strikes. It's 0-2. Hannon trying to come in and get this game over quickly here in the 9th. The 0-2. It's outside, 1-2.
Stepping in now for the Oaks, number 6, Cody Kulak.
Saints with a win. We'll move to 7-6 on the season, 3-4 in league play. As it counts back to 2 apiece. A 12-3 game in the 9th here at Jackie Robinson Field. As Kulak works it to a full count, 3-2.
Getting the job done offensively with a bit of a different lineup. As we talked about early in the broadcast, we were missing guys like Jack Burden. One of the guys, to name a few, we still have some of the offensive pieces as far as Elliott, Cowley, Cowden, Lewis. And we see some guys that have woken up and have really produced today.
Kulak works back from an 0-2 count to a walk. And as you said, the offense and some of these new names, but it was everyone contributing. McMurray had 3 hits. Lindsley had a 2-run single. It was everyone from number 1 in the lineup to number 9 contributing in this game. And that's what you want to see. And that's why you're going to end up putting up 12 runs and winning most of your games.
This is a game that will definitely be looked at as a confidence booster for the Saints, as you know that you can rely on your depth. You have guys that can come off of the bench and be able to get you base hits or get a job done and get you some starts, while some of the starters can take a day off and you know that your position is going to be fielded well or even hit well that day. So this is definitely an eye-opener for the coaching staff for the Saints.
1-0 right there for a strike, 1-1. John Chomko in line for the win. Creighton Hansen started the game, only went 4 innings, but was very sharp. Got a lot of offense behind him. Runner's going to take off. Lindsay, no throw as no one really covered. Kulak swipes second with a stolen base. Wiersma in line to get the loss. Barring a somehow miracle comeback from the Oaks here.
Would have a lot of work to do for sure.
2-1 is swung on a miss. As it looks like it's another pitch hitter for the Oaks. 2-2. Fastball blown right by him. Strike number 3 and the second strikeout. This one of Brendan DeFree for Tommy Hannon. And 2 gone. The Saints are an out away.
Pair of Ks here for Tommy Hannon. Definitely going to be looking to strike out the side as we go back to the top of the order. And it's going to be interesting to see. Can he strike out the side?
It'll be Hunter Call pinch hitting. So a lot of pinch hitters here for the Oaks in inning number 9, getting some at-bats as this game's almost all but over as he swings and misses, 0-1. Hunter Call, 2 for 9 in league play. His 10th at-bat. Takes the ball, it's 1-1. The 1-1. Fastball taken high. It's 2-1. That one misses as well. Hannon already walked 1 man in the inning. In danger of walking the next. 3-1 now. Again, this is work where if you're a coach, you just don't want to see them walk people. You're up 9 runs as tack these hitters. They hit you, but you don't want to be walking people up 9. Call thought that was ball 4, but it was called a strike. It's 3-2 now, and the Oaks are down to the last strike. Three-two. Runner's going to take off. That one's fouled off to the right side. Kulak was looking to swipe third. It's full count here for Hannon. The 3-2 once more. Swung on and miss. Hannon strikes out the side in the 9th to end the game. And the Arroyo Seco Saints win their second straight by a score of 12-3. John Chomko gets the win. Joseph Wiersma gets the loss. Alex, like you said, a big confidence booster for the Saints to come out and win their second straight after ending the 4-game losing streak.
This was a game that you very much needed to win. The last thing you need to do is go 0-3 against the Conejo Oaks, and especially since you're going to be playing against a very strong Santa Barbara Foresters. This is a team that you definitely cannot be sleeping on. This is going to be another challenge for the Saints, and if you ask me, this is going to be a challenging week for the Saints as well. I mean, right after the Foresters, you got to deal with the Blues, and having the Blues come back here to Jackie Robinson Field, you had plenty of fight in that one. You came short against the Blues, but this year it's a very interesting mix. I mean, you face off against the Conejo Oaks. This was a team that's very good in the SoCal division. Now you have the Foresters, another great team in the SoCal division, who they're not going to be no walk in the park. Then you have the San Luis Obispo Blues, that is going to be another team that is not going to be a nice walk at the beach. So it's going to be a nice challenge being here at home. You have a 5-game stretch. You started on Sunday playing against the Orange County Riptide. Then you played against Conejo Oaks, and you put up a clinic against the Oaks. And this is a game that you definitely need to highlight. And if you're Coach Milam, this is a game that you want to use as an example. Hey, there is a lot of fight in us. We could score double digits. This is what our pitching staff can do. We are a great program that can definitely keep up with the teams like the Oaks, like the Foresters, like the Blues. And we definitely got to try to close down this gap and try to keep up with big teams like this, because we are a big team as well. We do have the capability, we do have the firepower, we have the offense to be able to keep up with teams like this.
Yeah, the Saints play the Blues 2 of the next 4 games. They improved to 7-6 on the season, 3-4 in league play. They'll be at home to Santa Barbara tomorrow, while the Oaks fall to 6-3 on the season and 3-2 in league play. They'll continue their road trip at the Academy Barons tomorrow night. For Alex and the entire Arroyo Seco Saint intern staff, I'm Jared Thompson. Thank you for listening to Saints Baseball on the Arroyo Seco Saints Radio Network.